Like right now.
Yes.
Yep.
Hello,
Like
everybody.
actually a red apple.
Yes.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Also, Grim, thank you for the self-care, and Ari, hello. Yes, to you too. Hi, everybody. It's good to be back. Today, we resume with good old Simple Path. Last we left off,
We died.
Actually, I should have grabbed this a moment ago. I think the most fitting one for this would be actually Ellie's contribution so far. The art isn't complete yet, but it's still damn good. Last we left off, the party had paid the royal palace in Lorbany visit, were greeted and summarily let in for an audience with the king. And then said king, they let him for an audience with the king, greeted by the royal undersecretary, who asked them a few questions, led them into the king's office, and then took a seat and introduced himself as Guillermo de Lorbus, King of Lorbany, King of Lorbus. And then I left them on a cliffhanger like that. I will, in Simple Path, post the concept art that Sully, I'm also currently showing it on stream. The concept art so far of Sully's work. I have contracted both Sully and June to do some art of him. I'm very much looking forward to it when they're finished. But here is Sully's progress so far of what her vision of the king is, and I quite like it. I like both of the images that June and Sully have come up with so far. So, standing in the office, as I previously described, it is a fairly simple affair. The office is mostly dark wood. A lot of the regalia and decorations are in the national colors of Lorbus, which is typically something along the line of darker grays and blacks. It's like not exactly the most cheerful color palette, but maybe there's a reason behind it. But the office itself is tastefully appointed. Lots of varnished hardwood in darker shades. Mahogany and teak is common. There's a large desk which has seen much love and care, as well as much weight and paperwork on it. Behind which now sits, leaning back in a very worn-looking leather chair, is the young King de Lorbus, as he says. I apologize for the subterfuge. I understand that may not be to your taste. And again, I apologize, but it's so very difficult to get honest testimony from people who are afraid of potential reprisal from a monarch. As he then brings up one leg, crosses it over a knee. I'm not going to do that because reasons.
It's okay, he's already doing it in the picture.
Yeah, he kind of laces his fingers lazily in front of him as he leans on one of the chair arms and says, "So, you wanted to talk to me? Well, I'm all ears."
Before any words are spoken, Varg kind of looks around the room. Are there guards here?
There were guards stationed outside the door, but not in the audience. Not because this isn't like the throne room or the audience room. This is just an office from the looks of things. It's a very nice looking office. It's just an office.
All right,
Please.
time for a radical hostile takeover.
Yeah, please don't kill him. Hey, we just got here, bro. Bro, we just got here. Kario, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
I'll do it. No, I'm kidding.
Kario was very firmly on the path of learning. Maybe like acting like a tyrant like my dad is probably not the right thing. You know what? Fuck it.
You know what? Fuck it.
So yes.
Do it.
He is sort of like very loosely gestured towards you, and to prompt, what do you call it? To prompt you all to say something, since you did come here for an audience with him.
Hmm. Did anybody else have a reason to come with? Or was it literally just me?
It
It was
was
literally nothing.
just you.
You guys all just decided to come with.
No. My reasoning is to make sure you don't do anything dumb.
Mm.
You're
Yes.
being
Arya
babysat.
is
My
very
reason for coming was to
large.
keep watch of Ark.
I'm not even here, man.
That as well.
Oh, that's
Not even here.
right. Mallory isn't actually.
I'm pretty
there.
sure. Mallory, I'm pretty sure you were at least falling behind because Vark is here. You were protecting him.
Oh.
Yeah, we need to keep an
Then
eye
the
on Vark,
flick.
protect him, and
Yeah.
Kara is also a very large, beefy child that needs to be babysat.
Yes.
Wait, would that mean that they know that I'm with them, or
I don't know
If you
if
made
they
yourself,
would
if you
know.
made yourself known.
I
Otherwise,
would not do that?
okay. In that case, you are still outside the palace because otherwise you would have been making your way onto the palace grounds.
Yeah.
So you're currently loitering.
That's fair. That sounds like a Mallory thing to do.
What about Flake?
You're
You were
absolutely
shadowing Vark as well. What were you doing, Flake?
He came with, I think.
Jake.
Flick.
I'm pretty sure it came with because I was also coming to like protect Vark,
Okay, good.
wasn't it?
Oh yeah, yep.
If I recall
Oh,
correctly.
That's fair. Actually, as I do recall, I think you were in the palace. Yes. So.
Yeah.
That means everybody except for Flick is. Sorry, everybody except for Mallory is currently in the palace. Hello, welcome in. I'm doing well, thank you. As the king sits there, he gestures for you to speak.
Sorry, I was desperately trying to remember what I. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. That was a bot who joined in.
Sorry, but I'm not interested, and that is incredibly rude to do that in the middle of somebody else's stream.
I banned them immediately.
Thank you.
Yeah, no. I was sitting
Hey,
there. I
Alex.
was like, that person joins. Hey,
It always starts off that way. It always does.
Yeah, the
Uh,
moment that
Immediately,
Yeah.
just the paragraph. Just
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw hello.
I hate
and
making
clicked and I
a
went,
big deal out of it. Anyway,
Yeah.
hi Alex,
Anyways,
welcome
hey,
in.
sorry. Yeah. Hey, Lux. I forgot. God, I had a plan, but it's been a bit. I think I remember. At the very least, if I don't, I'm gonna go by the seat of my pants.
Yeah. He's engaging you in conversation. Not everything goes according to plan, including sometimes being asked to speak.
That is true. Kara will kind of look the King of Lorbus up and down. Just kind of like, not necessarily like, oh, I guess it is. He's like eyeing him up. Not in an aggressive way, but more in a confused way.
Mhm.
And he kind of speaks a little callous as he goes, you don't appear to have the makings of what I would expect a ruler to carry himself as.
A ghost of a smile comes across his face as he says, "Oh, and what's that? What do you expect
Well-
from a king?"
Well, a presence. And forgive me if I am insulting, but, well, I don't see that presence.
I see. No. You wouldn't be the first one to say something like that. Indeed, it is that presence, that aura you speak of, that my darling elder brother and my father were equipped with. What's so fastidiously convinced everybody that my brother would be the one to take the throne, and yet so well suited was he that he ran off with a milkmaid. Now,
Yes,
I won't go and claim that a presence is not required sometimes, but I would say that is not all a king requires, nor is it necessarily what every king requires. so far as I've served my tenure as king here in the Kingdom of Lorbis, I've never really needed to stand out to have this presence you speak of. Kingdoms have different needs and different times. Lorbis is currently in peacetime. And what it doesn't need right now is a king that stands at the front and demands the attention, who hogs the spotlight, claims the credit, and acts as some form of secondary idol for the citizenship to worship. Glory only goes so far. Now, I won't be so defensive as to be insulted by what you said, because what you said comes, I think, from an honest place. So, and as such, there is no offense taken. But I would ask where your conviction that such a thing is so necessary for a king to have comes from.
Well, necessary is a strong word. And
Well, you certainly seem to think it's important.
indeed, I do. But, and at this point, oh, hooray! Ari gifted 10 tier 1 subs to get you back
Ayo.
going.
Ari,
And we all got hit.
Ari, that's too kind of you.
Let's go.
Well, damn.
That's
Alright.
so-
Ari, let's go.
Nice.
I think
Oh,
literally all of us
nice.
got hit. I think we all got
Actually,
hit.
I didn't have the stream open, so I don't think I did. But that's okay.
Well, it
Hey, let's
doesn't-
go.
hits-
Doesn't matter
it
if
hits
you've been
me,
hit, it
but-
just matters that you've been in at some point. Oh.
That's true.
Oh.
Ari out here. Oh, damn it. Okay, anyways, back on track. I apologize, but that's sweet. I just got paid for the last month as nurse trainee and throws money.
Too kind. I think it was the last day of September. Ah, I see.
Naturally.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mhm. So, Kare will shake his head and will kind of take a step, and he won't sit in the seat that is across the desk. He will do as he often does, and he will sit down, cross-legged, across from the king at his desk, and then he'll take his weapon off his back, and he'll set it between them, as he always does. Keep in mind, he didn't draw the blade. He took the whole thing off.
Mhm.
Karia. I'm gonna just look at the weapon to the king. Sigh.
It is an honor-bound custom. Is this a problem?
Guillermo actually looks you over and says, no, it's not. I see he actually stands up from his desk, comes around the front of it, and just leans back against the wooden desk and says, I have no problem looking someone eye to eye.
You... Presence is a fickle thing. A thing that I have seen in both positive and negative lights. I am of the brood of Orthos, Dragon of the North, and apparently more titles that I can remember.
Dragons, older ones especially, do tend to have a lot of titles.
Indeed, nor do I care to remember them, as for what I can hope he is dead.
Name Orthos doesn't ring
Ah.
a bell. Well, no, if what I talk about is true, yeah, no. Dragons are more trouble than they're worth, if I'm going to be honest. And let alone the headache of remembering all the titles, they just tend to bring a lot of conflict into regions. And kingdoms don't. Depending on who you ask, kingdoms might thrive off of conflict, but mine I like to keep relatively conflict-free.
Yes, and for that I believe we may share a kindred understanding. I have aspirations to reclaim my own homeland, and we have learned that a prophecy once lost to my people may have some weight. But I have discovered, upon taking the reins of a group of, well, followers, and perhaps in time villagers, in the northern wastes to the north of Mordan, that those who may follow me would need a leader who can show more than just his strength, of which I am quite capable. But you seem to have maintained peace in a kingdom that has fallen, well, at one time into the ashes of war, and has now found itself squarely in peace and thriving far more than it ever could. And it's curious to me as to how. And when I imagined the King of Lorbus, though I had heard the tale of your brother running and turning tail, well, I suspected that it may not be what I expected, but I'm curious of you, if nothing else. If not, a bit envious, I believe would be the term, as you have accomplished what I intend to, and I would like to know how.
Okay. He actually seems bashful for a moment, but then says, you want to be a leader and a king, and my only response to that was, besides why, is, if it weren't for the fact that, present company as it was, and the fact that you are all, as I am assured by one of my spy masters, to be entirely fresh faces, I would be more paranoid and perhaps suspect that you were a foreign spy here to steal my secrets of leadership, assuming there were any. You wonder how I've managed, or how Lorbus has managed to pull itself back up to where it is, despite everything that it's been through. And if I had to tell you why that happened, despite what everybody claims, it's not me. I barely did anything. People who actually managed to pull Lorbus out of the gutter and back into the spotlight and back into a thriving country that it never managed to be in decades, not since my great-grandfather's time, is the people. They're the ones who kept the country floating in its darkest hours. They're the ones who carried on despite everything, even when food was abysmally scarce, when there was barely textiles to go around to keep clothes on their back. It was the people who kept the country going. The people who brought it back out of the darkness. I would say it's my cabinet, my trusted advisors. If I had to say what my secret is I got very, very lucky, and I found some amazing people. I don't think I'm very special at all. Just look at me. I'm just a kid who got thrust into the position of being king. I never wanted to be here. If anybody were to ask me if they should be king, I would tell them, no, run the other direction. Because it's not something everybody is ready for, or everybody is capable of. I don't think I'm capable of it. I'm doing just fine pretending, I think. Doing a decent job of it. My advisor, as well as my cabinet, are doing a very good job of keeping Lorbus in tip-top shape, despite whatever blunders I achieve every week. The people, and the cabinet, and my advisor make this country what it is. And I get to claim the credit. I brought together an entire host of idea people from the Match and Lock Company to my Minister of Finance to my Minister of Agriculture. I gave them a few ideas here and there, helped spark things. But really, they're the ones who brought in the skill and the knowledge and the experience. I barely know anything. I'm a prince. I never got taught much worth knowing, really, besides what I managed to study myself. Because, despite everything, your old father put most of his energy into teaching my older brother how to be a king, how to hold himself with presence and charisma, and how to run the country. If you're looking for a secret for how I got Lorbus to where it is, you're not going to find one.
DM,
Yes.
I messaged a bit back in the chat in Roll20, but I don't think it popped up for you. When he... Oh,
Makes
Yes.
sense motive of the king. Okay, yes. Yes, you make sense motive.
that is all.
Oh,
I will
good.
do that.
I'll wait to respond until that roll goes off.
Okay,
Shit.
I had to restart Roll20. Okay. No, it's okay.
Hello, puppy.
A 20.
20. As he's going through this, and he's listing off reasons for why he shouldn't be considered the main reason for why this succeeded. As far as you can tell, he's being pretty forthright. If anything, he's like he's looking kind of downcast as he lists off the reasons. Yeah, you can see through the ghost of a self-deprecating smile, he seems to be telling the truth, as far as you can tell.
Alright.
As he explains all of this, Kari will listen, nod, not interrupt, and then when he's done, he'll take a moment and go, I see. Yes, I have been learning very quickly that I cannot do everything on my own, but...
A king is not a country is not their king. A king is his country. If you want to be a leader, you need to be ready to be defined by your people as much as you are by the crown you bear.
But should the people not hold the ideals of the king that serves above them?
If you want convenience and ease, yes. But the fact of the matter is, a kingdom is a large thing. The citizens are not always going to be in line with the king, nor are they going to be in line with whoever's next in line, nor is the prince who comes after the king, or the princess, should it happen, going to mirror their parents' philosophies, nor are they going to be necessarily as competent. As I'm sure many monarchies can attest, there were very capable kings who died and left behind a buffoon of a son or daughter. Kingdoms are haphazard things. They are lotteries of genetics that sometimes come out very, very unlucky. If what you're referring to is a government elect, where the people and the leaders' ideals should line up so that they may cooperate and work in tandem, that is another matter entirely, and I don't think that's a kingship. Honestly, I would find that much more preferable than a regency. I would consider perhaps looking at a model that does not itself expressly determine to be kingdom.
Well, no, I'll kind of adjust. I have always been of the belief that the king should be the embodiment of the ideals of their kingdom. The living, breathing entity of which all people within his realm would aspire to be as. with that weight on their shoulders but carrying forward, but I'm aware that keeping the weight of the entire world on my shoulders would more than likely lead me to ruin. And
I will say
for
this
this-
right now with no uncertainty. You would collapse.
This is exactly what I have discovered in these recent months of my adventures across, well, the northern wastes and Mordan. I would have a request of you then.
If you'll indulge me, one more thing.
Of course.
You say that you believe a king should reflect the most ideal member of the kingdom, so to speak, the idol which all should strive to be like. I disagree. I think a king should be ready to be a kingdom's and a people's most ideal servant. Because at the end of the day, a king, as a leader, serves his people, not the other way around. It is a symbiotic relationship, and is in its most ideal state, a king should serve his kingdom's interests, always look out for it, like nurturing a child. But in turn, it'd be something not unlike, we'll turn it back in reverse, for him to be the child, for the kingdom to nurture and help him grow. Because a king, or any good king, does not simply pop the crown on his head and become a fully fledged and fully grown individual. The king and the kingdom are always growing and always changing. The interests are forever changing. And the king should, ideally, look to always serve his kingdom's best interests, citizenry's best interests. Now that can change very heavily from monarch to monarch and from region to region. But in the end, to be a king is to be a public servant, not to be some shining light, some paragon that others should strive to be like. Because there's many who don't want to be like that. There are many who are very happy just to be normal, and to live their lives and find simple happiness. But a king who portrays honesty, forthrightness, adaptability, strength in opposition to hard times, is one that will very quickly find the admiration and the cooperation of his people, which at the end leads to much easier times ahead. That is to say nothing of foreign relations, which is a topic I do not wish to speak of. So yes, you had something to talk about.
Well, simply it would be a request. I believe we are going to be here for a few days, though we are setting off on a bit of an excursion. When I return, one second, the child is
It's a screaming
screeching.
hell beast.
Yeah, there's the screaming at Adelaide.
Oh no, it's a harpy outside.
Frey, Frey, I think you're being attacked.
It's a ring wraith.
Yeah, there's
It's
a
a ring
ring
ring.
right outside. She's
Frodo,
screaming because
don't put
Cactus
on the
is
ring.
screaming. When I return, I would ask of you if I could be a viewer in your court. I would like to see how your daily dealings persist without the ruse,
You wish to shadow my court?
if you would allow.
I see no issue with this.
Wonderful. So
Besides,
long
it'll be
as
nice
that
to have It'll be nice to have a fresh face to freak out some of the ministers and politicians. I'm sure they'll be
Well, if
endlessly
there's-
paranoid about the new face in the room, especially if it's the 7-foot-tall scaled man.
I see no issue
Oh,
with this.
I think
And
this will be.
with my-
He leans. leans back a bit further, like crossing his hands in front of his lap where he's leaning against the desk and says, actually, I think it's going to be pretty funny.
Oh, well then if it would be even more okay, I would like to accompany with my brother.
He looks down to Vair, who's kind of like curled up alongside you, almost kind of like in a sort of half moon shape around your like a crescent moon shape, sort of looped around one of your sides,
Wrapping
like,
around,
like
yeah.
kind of leaning against one of your thighs.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "Yeah, nah, that's fine.
Wonderful.
I'll freak them
Okay.
out with a small dragon in the courtroom. I'm sure that'll keep the usual malingerers and time wasters preoccupied enough with lodging official complaints with the staff about about the company I keep in the courtroom. I think that'll be very, very entertaining. And also will probably generate a lot of paperwork, but who cares? Paperwork is for the birds. Said, I have no idea what's going to. A kingdom is a chaotic thing to run. I can't tell you whether or not the day you decide to shadow my courtroom will be just another day of going over bills and reviewing, or if it'll be a day where, gods forbid, Eridine decides to invade again. Either way, you could. Sometimes it's incredibly boring. Sometimes it's very interesting, and I hate the interesting days.
Well, I mean no disrespect, but regardless, I will be interested.
All right. Well, next time you pop along, feel free to swing by. You guys are, I'm going to put this loosely, adventurers, right? By the typical, layman's meaning of the word. You're
Yes.
roustabouts who typically take a job sometimes.
Say that.
Yes.
That we
Yes,
do.
Yes.
What is it you want?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want anything, at least not yet. I like to keep my options open though, because you all are some very interesting individuals, I must say.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Like I said, I hate interesting most of the time. But you guys, typically interesting for an interesting day for me usually requires some form, like 3 forms of intervention, about half a tree worth of paperwork, and all of my ministers shouting in my ears. But you guys are a breath of fresh air. And if you should ever come swinging by again, I might even have a job for you. And you, I think you'll find it very complimentary that Lorbus's coffers are quite full these days. So yes, I might have a job for you at some point. Hopefully without the prying eyes of my advisor. He tends to be very persnickety about the type of help I'm willing to hire. Speaking of which, right as he says that, the door to the office opens up, and a sharp-looking man in what looks to be a sort of black-dyed gambeson almost, or a puffy shirt of some sort, dotted and decorated with white fleur-de-lis, comes in with a clipboard and what looks to be several types of stationery and other amenities stuck to it under one arm. As he opens the door, stops halfway through, seeing all of you, steps through the door. The man himself is a little taller looking than the king himself, with a sharp, severe face with high cheekbones, sunken cheeks, and a thin, almost pencil-like goatee and mustache. As he closes the door, walks around you all, gives you a nod, says, "Good day."
I bought him.
He kind of like waves like, "That's not necessary." As he then goes up to the king and says, "My liege, I didn't know you were taking audiences today." It's all right, Baldric. It's a bit unannounced, but they all seem like interesting individuals, and good ones too. They didn't even try to assassinate me once while we were in here. Yes, I noticed. Without guards. Again.
I'll put my giant greatsword back on my back.
He gives you like a slight
As-
squinting side eye, but says nothing else.
As he does that, Flick just kind of scoots next to Karya and whispers in his ear, "You know, if there were any assassins, I bet you'd be the one to dissuade them, probably."
Perhaps I could actually find a retirement job if everything else doesn't work out.
Oh, yes,
Maybe
royal
that's not-
bodyguard.
Royal bodyguard.
Yes.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
Kind of nudging him a
Yeah.
bit.
The
Probably pays well.
so Baldric, these are actually I never got your names.
Oh,
I'm very sorry. I introduced myself, but I never asked your names.
I am Karya Orthos of the Orthos Brood, and my brother Vair.
They both give you a nod. The king a little looser. Baldric, the advisor, a little more clipped, but still nod all the same.
We like all of our names as well.
Oh, absolutely. You're all
Just
guests
to-
here.
Okay, passes it to Vart.
Vark with his
actually,
flower crown.
Weren't we gonna talk about the Vark situation?
No, we were actively going to avoid the Vark situation.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
I don't mean- I don't mean
We
like
made
that.
that point to we made that point to avoid that last
I
time.
know. I don't mean like that. I just mean like, I don't know, try to tiptoe.
Oh,
around
oh,
it
like in
without being
private?
direct. Yeah.
Vark, after noticing the side eye, bows and goes, "Greetings. My name is Vark. I am beloved."
Interesting. Not the usual epithet some have. Some go by Fleetfoot or the Strong. The first time I've heard Beloved.
It is my name, and I cherish it dearly.
As you should. Then whoever gave you it very clearly loved you. It's a good thing to cherish. It's a good thing to have.
That you did.
Then I'm happy for you.
Aw.
You are more fortunate than most. So yes. And then he looks further down the line. Who else?
My name is Sirin, the person.
Person. Oh my, yes. Such a specific moniker.
Mm.
The,
Well, I mean, she's
the,
not
the
wrong.
advisor looks you over and goes, "Do you have any other distinguishing marks besides being?" Looks you like to your shoes, then up your pants, up to your body, like all the way up through your face. He basically dissects you with his eyes and says, "A person."
I am a healer and priestess of the goddess Meluna.
There we go. That's something. Meluna is a fairly common denomination, but usually it's more among mages. I didn't know she had very many clerics.
Oh, indeed. We are in a many.
Excellent. Well then, we have a priestess of Meluna. We have who is also a person. We have a most beloved. We have a dragonkin, and then continues to look down the line. I'm going to say he looks next to the fox lady.
Oh boy.
That happened eventually.
Hi. Yeah, it was. I was hoping it wouldn't. Hello. My name's Aiko.
Pleasure to meet you. And then the advisor goes,
That's all.
I notice you have no further titles unlike your fellows.
Leave me alone.
She once introduced herself as Chi, and then Aiko, and I believe that they are multiple people.
Oh, did she hiccup in between?
Looks at Karya with a
She is also quite the skilled smith, and in fact has reforged 2 of the legendary swords that he carries. And he carries.
I see we've reached the point of the conversation where Karya divulges all of the information.
yeah. I'm just gonna,
You keep doing this.
I'm just gonna.
away with it.
To which point,
Quickly-
the king then
quick-
the
quickly falls-
king then reaches underneath it and says, "Oh, excellent!" Pulls out a gun, shoots both Flick and
Yeah.
and Bark, and says, "I'll be taking those now."
Karya, you
I'll
killed
take
us,
those
you
now.
fool.
I'm just-
fine.
I'm just
Yes.
gonna put.
Yes,
my face
Grim.
in my
Infosec is
hands.
infosec is a problem for people who can't bench press a tree.
That's true.
Aiko's just gonna put her hands to her face, let out a sigh, and go. Well, I think I'm rather a bland person, but according to my friend here, you now know quite a bit about me.
I tend to find the people who want to be seen as bland are the people who want to fade the most out of recognition. I should know. I'm one of them.
I
Sometimes
see.
being bland is a very useful quality.
I'm gonna look at Karya and say to you, and say to him, and say, "You're never getting your cookies back."
Gee, I mean this in the nicest and kindest way possible. If I wanted them, I could take them.
None of that here. You can take up the issue of your confiscated cookies with your nanny later. No violence in the office. I
Later.
would make a joke about this being the war room, but it's not. So, Aiko, whichever one you may choose to go by.
Please call me
Let's assume
Aiko.
yes.
Aiko it is.
She is a someone else.
I see. I won't pry. The same way I help you bring a similar discretion, I shall share the same with you. And then looks towards, I guess, the other one who had some attention brought onto him, Flick, the Cantian.
Oh, yes, the names. You can call me, Mr. Swift. Yes, Mr. Swift.
Roll me a bluff.
Will do. Will do. Let's see. There you are. 23.
Okay. Turns out Mr. Swift is a practice pseudonym that you sometimes go by, or at least one you've been rolling around in your head ever since that bard basically said, your name is very uncommon.
Hmm.
It's just like,
I gotta keep up appearances.
mhm.
I can't have people knowing who I am.
Mr. Swift, I see.
Yes.
Like I said, some people go by things like Fleetfoot, or other such monikers. Never have I found someone to go by Mr. Swift. I take it you're very quick then.
Quite quick with a blade, you see? And he kind of pats the sword aside.
Ah, so it is a taken name. I see.
Did Flick develop an Australian accent?
No,
I
he went a little bit. He went a little bit southern there.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
am I hearing this right?
I always keep drifting between like a slight British accent and something sort of like Australian. It's weird.
Yeah, you're also drifting a little bit into like a sort of like Alabaman accent there for a second, which was interesting. I just take it that you're set like Flick is still trying to test out the accent that he wants to assign to the identity of Mr. Swift.
Essentially, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, call me Mr. Swift.
I see. Interesting. Well then, I'm sure you find much usefulness in your cadre. And lastly, we have the advisor is actually the one to speak up and says, "I recognize your people." As he looks at Hollow Hollow.
Holo Holo, who is currently just like snacking, he hasn't had anything to say this entire time, so it's just been eating like a few rations, just looks up, just huh?
What is a Ridgeback elf doing in our kingdom? Ridgebank elf. Sorry.
I'm Holo Holo. I originally went out on a happy fishing trip, but now I'm here.
You're a long way away from your home waters to be fishing.
Sometimes the current takes you wherever it wants you to go.
Through solid land, it would seem.
Well, I went to Mordon first.
You did mention that your group had made its way through Mordon at some point. Interesting. Well, Lord, to which the king then kind of waves off his advice. Leave him alone. They've all come from very far. Well, regardless, wherever you all come from, whatever your names and titles are, whatever your previous occupations may be, Lorbus welcomes you. All I ask is that you just don't start any trouble. We have enough to deal with as it is.
Of course, my lord.
Then, yeah. I think, not to make the discussion overstay its welcome, but there's always more times to talk, and he kind of side-eyes his advisor and says, I'm always open to more audiences with, and the advisors, with some regulation involved. Yes, fine. You guys said you're going to be coming back through the kingdom at some point. I look forward to seeing you again when you do so. And I look forward to speaking with you when that happens. Karia, can I get a sense motive?
Yes, you can. I've been staying muted as the baby is currently playing with a very annoying toy.
Baby is causing violence.
Children tend to
It
do
was
that sometimes.
a sense motive, you
sense
said,
motive,
yes. That is not good for me, but I'll give it a shot.
Give it a try. That's very
Nat
nice.
20.
Shit.
You very
Oh.
keenly notice that ever since the advisor has come in the door, he's very much he's never mentioned the agreement you had to allow you to shadow one of the court meetings.
See, that he won't say anything to.
Yeah. He's very specifically does not mention that, and he's kind of, you actually notice he's dancing around that and avoiding noticing that, mentioning that in front of the advisor.
Does it seem to be more out of fear or out of the enjoyment he will get?
It's not out of any sort of fear. If anything, it's it's with the expectation that the advisor will probably be miffed if the king starts willy-nilly inviting people off the street into court meetings. As funny as the king might find it to be, the advisor, I think, from what you understand of his position and how he's supposed to be something of a regulatory or a direction-giving occupation. Basically, his job is to keep the prince or the king on track and going in the right direction. You would probably take umbrage with that, and probably rightfully so, because it's kind of his job to keep the courtroom safe and the prince from making the king from making reckless decisions. Which, inviting a man with a big sword into the same room as a bunch of court ministers would probably count as being reckless.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
I'll take note of it, and as I assume we'll probably be getting up to leave, I'll stand up, and I'll flash him a little nod and a smile, and then take a few steps back.
He push himself off the desk, come back around it, sit down, and say, "Well, it's been very nice to meet you all. You especially, Karia. That was an enlightening conversation. And I look forward to the next time you come passing through our lovely country. I hope you enjoy your time here for however long you stay. You find no issues with it, and if you should find any problems, I've made it very clear that I'm open to being directly consulted. If you have a problem with my land or with the people within it, I ask only that you be direct with me and come and say. You cannot improve the country if you don't know what's wrong with it. So yes.
I like to say out loud,
Mhm.
a little, ever so slightly louder than like inside voices. Karya, whenever I interact with anyone official, I'm following you. You're getting better at being trustworthy, but I don't trust you quite yet. That wasn't aimed. That wasn't aimed exactly just at Karya.
The king, despite that, chuckles and says, "Oh, hey, you've got one too."
Yes, I believe I have an advisor, as you have called them.
Mm-hmm. They're invaluable. He looks over towards towards his and says, "If sometimes fastidiously persnickety," to which the advisor says, "You can keep trying to use larger words to try and make it seem endearing, but I know you're just calling me annoying."
Ah, that's the word. Yes. Chaiko is annoying, but in a good way.
In a way that keeps us going in the right direction. Am I correct?
Yes, exactly that.
Right. I think
I'll
that's
take
the
a
meeting
glance.
over with. The advisor just right. I think that's the meeting over with. You may all have a lovely day. It is coming to evening. I have much to discuss with the king.
I would like to say towards the advisor, thank you for having us. I completely understand.
I completely understand.
He in the midst of like shooing you all out, he looks at you and looks at Kari and says, "My condolences. Best of luck."
Yes. Yeah.
you.
Understandable. Have a good day.
Karya and the king are gonna be besties. 'Cause we both-
Oh,
Me,
boy.
me and the advisor are going to go gray by fucking 30.
Yeah. This is Chi, also known as Aiko. She is my royal advisor, and also she's 25. She was
But she-
originally orange when we met her. She
Yes,
is
Okay.
gray now.
her tails are gray and her hair has fallen out.
Here's poor Chaco here has contracted the illness known as old.
Old.
It's dressed
Actually,
gray.
How's
Before we
Uh.
leave, may I also do just a general sense motive check on the advisor?
Sure.
Could I also roll
Well, yes.
one? Because
You're basically sense motivating to make sure he's not like Jafar or something, because it's always the vizier.
Yeah. Essentially.
it's
Go for
always
I'm
it's
checking
always the
for-
vizier.
Yeah,
Go
I'm
for it.
checking for snakishness.
Mhm.
That's a 10.
Yeah.
I think I said I would also roll a sense motive, just
Go
because,
for it.
yeah, while Flick is listening, he'd be taking note of how the guy's acting, anything that seems off.
Sure.
Yeah.
25.
How about that?
Ah,
Read him like a book. Almost.
You assume he doesn't have like 10 ranks in bluff.
I presume.
He's a politician. Anyway, Siren,
true.
you never know sometimes. He could just be level 1, because most politicians don't tend to have a lot of class class ranks, because, to be able to get levels in even NPC classes takes a lifetime of work. You never know. You need to take that into account, that you're not the only people with class levels and skill ranks.
That's true.
Siren, the advisor seems kind of miffed with the king's with the king's sort of easygoing, very not fast and loose, but it's another F word. It's just kind of like the way he's just kind of breezing by things and not making a big deal out of stuff. He's, from what you can tell, he seems to be annoyed with it. And he looks tired. He looks like he's got a lot of paperwork wedged under his arm that needs dealing with. A very full clipboard. He's got ink stains on his sleeves. Looks like he's a very busy man. And for Flick, one look at the man says that part of the annoyance is put on as an act, both for your group's entertainment and benefit, but also to signal that now is the time for serious work and for the king to stop playing around with the guests. Now it's time for the grown-ups to sit down and worry about kingdom stuff. It's not that he dismisses you all, it's that you guys are literally just strangers who are sitting in the royal office, and they have expressly kingdom issues to deal with. You guys are basically like bottom of his rung of issues to worry about. And then
okay, so he's
very-
playing. So he's playing up the impatience.
You're playing up the impatience and the annoyance for the benefit of entertainment and to what do you call it? To kind of make a show of, okay, now's the time to put on our king hat, our crown, and
Mr.
to
James, we're taking things seriously.
and to get lordly. So yes, but not in all of the what he says and how he acts. He doesn't seem to portray any sort of genuine like malice or malignance towards any of you. It might be a little bit annoyed by the sudden drop in by a bunch of strangers, literally sitting in the like six strangers sitting in a room with a king with no guards present. That definitely got his hackles up at first. But after seeing that you guys basically just were worth at least a little bit of trust in that you didn't immediately kill the king at the first given opportunity, he seems at ease enough that he is willing to, what do you call it? That he is willing to just kind of play it off as we're all very friendly now. Let's get going. You guys need to get out. We need to get to work.
Okay.
Well, I suppose we'll be off then if no one else has anything else.
I need to have a talk with Kari about divulging other people's past.
Yes.
I've had quite a few conversations with my advisor about things like that. Thankfully, I never quite had the same runaway mouth, but everybody has every aspirant king has their own issues they need to work on. To which the advisor says, "Yes, I recommend needle and thread to stitch it shut."
Noted.
I simply don't understand why you wouldn't be proud of your titles. But that is for another time.
Yes,
This
let's
was-
let's all get out now.
Unless any of you are currently looking for a royal pardon, in which case, why? I think the matter of audiences for the day is closed. Thank you very much for your visitation.
Yep. Yes. Sounds just about right.
I'll slowly attempt to gather everyone up and slowly herd them through the door.
Yep. Just a little half.
Hey, be patient.
Patience. As Chaiko's attempting to, funnel everyone out, Ikari will give a little half bow, not like a complete one, just a little thank you for your time, and then out the door.
But we'll also give a courtesy, like a little flourish and a courtesy before following the others out.
I'm too busy herding everyone out.
Go, come on, we need to go. Let's go.
Welcome in
Zero
board,
just
Hello.
waves goodbye.
Yes.
Yo.
Yes. And with that, the advisor very not like loudly, but firmly shuts the door behind you, and you are all once more in the foyer of the palace.
Well, that went well.
Was the part about divulging the forging of our swords really necessary?
Well, I see no reason as to not. I would hope that you would be proud of wielding such a legendary weapon, would you not?
See, we are, but at the same time, from what I've been told, there are other people searching for these weapons. And the more that word gets around, the more people start to become interested.
Well, wouldn't you want to have a worthy challenger who would potentially...
No,
I don't
There's
understand.
multiple of them, and they'd probably
Yeah.
kill me for what I have. Same with Vark.
I'm gonna lightly tap Kari on the
Just-
shoulder. Just gonna light tap.
Yes.
But actually, wait, Serum, were you gonna say something?
I was gonna say
Yes.
we've just left the office. Let's not talk about this here. Maybe wait for a private room
We're
at the
walking.
tavern.
Or
Which
at
is what
least
Siren
say
was
it in
trying to
hushed
say.
tones.
Hmm.
I
Siren?
don't trust that
Let's say
still.
I'll say actually not Siren. Aiko. Can you give me perception?
Yes. Sure can. All right, guys, prepare to be let down.
Prepare to be
perception roll,
disappointed.
one more time.
We're at least going to have this conversation somewhere
Yeah.
separate.
Yeah.
Somewhere
Like in
quiet.
my hotel room that I just got as a link way.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yes.
like the hotel room that our friend here is managed to acquire.
Yes. Let's see. Who else was it? Vark. Vark, I would also like a perception from you because you are one of the. You two are the two people who aren't actively participating in this conversation and aren't distracted.
Indeed. All right. Come on, sheet, work with me. There we go. And a 1
Oh wow.
and
Yeah.
a 2.
Mark, save us from the prying eyes.
Yeah.
That is good. 28.
Yep.
Mhm.
27.
That is a total of 28. So
Well, total because he has the inside bonus. Yeah.
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 Aiko, you're kind of they're talking. They were talking very loud and then very very quiet, which kind of like with the whole matter of like infosec and everything like that might have had you sort of. I don't know. Maybe it got you panicked for a second. Maybe got you angry, or maybe you just was loud enough to distract you. And now you're like sucked into the conversation at least a little bit. Vark, ever at a distance, you notice standing next to the double doors leading into the office. Someone is standing there, right next to your group, like 2 feet away. It may have heard all of this.
Whoops.
Kill him. No, I'm kidding.
You notice that it's a she's about I would say how tall is Vark again? Like 5'7" or something.
And
Uh,
5'4". He's actually
5'4".
pretty small.
Oh yeah. In fact, she's about your height. Relatively relatively taller by Lorbus women average. But she's dressed in she's about your height. She's dressed in not finery, but definitely not like work clothes. It's sort of a almost rose gold shade of fabric, in a blouse, a long skirt coming down to her ankles, a pair of pumps, and her hair is it comes down in tight brown ringlets. As she stands there looking like she's just wandered in on the spy masters meeting for a kingdom. Well, as she's just wandered in on something that she really shouldn't have been listening to, looking a bit shocked as she then notices you notice her as she takes a step back, one thin hand, like one small hand coming up to her mouth, as she seems to be very slowly stepping away from the group. Her dark ringlets are kept back by a forest green headband, or hairband, that sort of keeps her forehead clear of hair. And the face is very much one that is round and almost cherubic, heart-shaped, giving the look of a very dainty looking girl who looks about ready to panic and run like a deer caught in the headlights, as she's just slowly taking one step back after another, seemingly hoping to just kind of blend away.
I'm gonna take a step towards her,
She takes a step back.
and another one.
She takes another step back.
Oh, he's approaching her.
And
my
her
God.
every time you take a step forward, her eyes grow progressively just a little bit wider to almost unbelievable size.
Vark reaches with one hand, he reaches to the seam where his shirt kind of, like the sleeve of his shirt ends and his glove begins. And he slowly peels the glove off, revealing his, his charcoal black skin with the tattoos lining even the back of his hand, and strings even the fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And then he simply extends his index finger and brings it up to his lips and stares
He's-
at her.
Shaking like a leaf.
What?
But then gives a couple of small nods and continues taking step backs as she then quietly makes her way down the staircase.
Have a wonderful day.
As she goes
Now
down the
adjust
staircase,
flower crown.
as she goes down the staircase, just out of sight, you hear a very quiet, "You too." And then the sound of click, 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 click of pumps across tile.
Okay, then. Okay, we're
fuck.
definitely having the rest of this conversation in the hotel room. Let's go.
Yeah, nobody else was aware of that. That was entirely between Vark and her, because nobody else noticed her presence.
Yeah, Vark just crept up on her with nothing, with his disguise and a flower crown, and have a good day.
Yes. These mysterious gentlemen known as... the mysterious charcoal-skinned individual known as the Beloved Gentleman spoke to me that day. He was mysterious, and he never spoke a word. Besides, have a good
Have
day.
a good day.
What a 50 Shades of Vark
Yeah.
novel that would be.
He's gonna put the glove back on and
50 Shades of Shadow.
continue overseeing this gaggle of idiots.
I actually had something I wanted to do.
Okay.
You said that there were guards stationed outside of the door that we were speaking in?
At the bottom of the staircase, actually.
At the bottom of the staircase.
Yes. So on the staircase where you are currently standing at the top of the staircase with a pair of doors at the top, the staircase goes left and right in a sort of what do you call it? In a bent fashion that then comes down. Yes, in a bifurcation that comes down on two different sides into the lobby or into the foyer, and at the bottom of each bifurcation are two guards.
And are they the closest guards in the vicinity?
Yes.
Siren would go to one of them and ask, excuse me, Royal Guard.
Yes. How may I be of service to you?
I noticed that you and this other guard here are the only ones closest to the room that we were speaking to the king in. And seeing as I'm pretty sure you both have never seen us before, we're strangers to the city, I was curious as to why there were no other people closer to him protecting him. Because as far as you know, you have no reason to trust us. How do you know we weren't there trying to hurt him? Isn't this rather unsafe?
Oh, well. We have been extensively briefed on the matters of security, information security, and that to be positioned too close to the door may result in one of the guards overhearing matters of state secret, which then can potentially be extracted from a guard via interrogation or other such, placing both the guard and their family in danger, and also the information at risk of being procured. In the king's words, the less people know the information, the less likely it is to get out. Besides which, you were escorted in by the king himself, and as a result, if he trusts to escort you into the room himself, then we trust him and his judgment to be able to tell what is a threat and what is not. That is... Yes, that is it.
I see. This further leads me to two questions. The first being, do you know if the king is capable of defending himself?
The other guard actually kind of turns his head away, and you hear a small.
Oh, I'll take that as a yes.
Not quite,
question.
actually. The king is something of a self-professed weakling.
Oh. I see.
The intention with the palace is to make sure that anybody who actually makes it through the front door, the only people who make it through the front door, are already not threats. We consider we consider it a failing if anybody who could be considered a threat even makes it into the palace grounds. We work on prevention rather than reaction.
I see. Oh,
I will say, though, that these halberds are not for show. Make some trouble, and we will still be forced to use them. But
I understand.
I think, he says, looking down at you, that the king thinks that you are trustworthy enough to be here and to even be brought within his office, and so I don't think that's going to be necessary.
Yes, very much so.
Wonderful. Have a wonderful day, citizen.
You as well. And I guess, gesture, since I'm already at the bottom of the stairs speaking to the guards, I'll gesture for everyone else to come down.
Yep. Everybody who is sucked into their conversation on the topic of too much information being given out. To which the ninja positioned in the corner up against the roof goes, no, please keep speaking. And yes, I assume at this point you all start to slowly, as a group, file out the front door.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Mallory, it's starting to get very cold out here. And one of the guards outside the palace grounds is starting to eye you. Do you have your halo on, or now that it's starting to get dark, or?
No.
Right. Yes, because undercover. Actually, yeah, you're also currently disguised in your feminine form.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Malady.
Melody.
Hilarious.
Is that a dog breathing?
Yes,
I hear
that is Shady.
like. Oh, that is.
No, that's me.
What?
He does have that dog in him, but no, it's Shady.
I mean,
I
No.
thought you were writing something like with pencil or something.
yeah, it also
paper.
sounded like writing.
The fact that her
Aw.
panting sounds like scratching
Aw.
pencil is kind of cute. Good girl.
Good dog.
Hey, what's the dog doing?
Yes. The Malady, it is currently getting quite cold outside. These people are gonna have fucking alter egos in this goddamn party.
Hey.
I can't wait to break myself up into Car and Ia.
Yeah.
hey, I did it first. I did it
do you
before it
mean
was
do you
cool.
mean Cars and Ia?
Oh,
The ultimate life
Cars.
form.
I
And-
finally get to be the ultimate life.
Yeah,
form.
you know, actually, it's fitting because you can be killed with what we call it with spotlights.
That's true. That is true.
Especially
So,
with powerful spotlights.
Karya becomes Carson Ian.
I don't want to be Cars.
What about Carl?
The dog is currently sat right next to me, staring up dolefully into my eyes.
Oh,
Aw.
good dog.
And now she's walking. She's going towards the door. She's coming.
I love how we can hear her breathing. It's so funny.
She's a big dog. She's got big lungs.
Yes.
Anyways, I did this to alter ego thing before it was cool.
I did it before it was
And
cool.
she-
I'm a shape-shifting hipster.
Look,
Fucking-
man,
Yeah,
I loved
just-
alter egos before it was cool.
Fucking.
I loved them before it was cool, Sam.
No.
Remember, I loved Foxes first.
That
No, no,
listen.
no, no.
you can all-
I want-
No,
I
you
want-
8
can-
years ago.
I want Aiko. I want Aiko with one of those long cigarette holders and like a beatnik beret and a scarf as she's like sitting at a cafe, going like I liked it before it was cool. This full-on hipster, total beatnik.
Listen,
I
you guys
hate
can
that.
argue about your Undertale OCs on the Amino app later. We
no,
need to
no,
get
no.
back to
And for the older
It was
for the
8 years, Sam.
for the older ones
Right?
among us,
Look
we
what
can,
you've done.
yeah, for the older ones among us, we can talk about our troll OCs. Anyway,
That's true. That's true.
Real.
yes. Anyway, so yes, you've slowly made your way out of the. Meanwhile, you've just kind of been loitering outside and passing by the front gates of the palace every once in a while, waiting for the group to come out. You've had a couple of interesting interactions from the people outside. For one thing, the guards are starting to notice that the same woman is walking past again and again and again. But also, once in a while, at one point, you had a child come up to you asking if you were her mom.
Are you my dad?
Are you my mummy?
Do I look like?
Do I look like?
Ah, yes, quoting Vines. As the
do not cite the deep magic.
I was there when it was written.
as the what do you call it? You had a child come up and ask if you were her mother. You've even had a couple of awestruck paramours coming up and asking if you believe in love at first sight. What's your response?
You make me vomit.
Uh-oh.
Believe in
Vermin.
magic.
Like, part of me wonders if Mallory has instant responses loaded in the chamber, or if Mallory crumbles at the slightest sight of affection being shown. Because I think either one is an even odds.
A love at first sight. Yes, I had a love long ago.
The tragic angle, I see. To which you then have, yes. At this stage, we're gonna say like the group, the meeting is like partially underway at this point when this happens. As this young man in what looks to be extravagant and colorful attire that is, what do you call it, fluted and puffy and one would think perhaps indicative of a poet, even, as he's as you tell him, yes, I had a love once, and he clutches at his heart and says, "Oh no, that's
Oh,
so
mon
sorry.
ami. No, no,
not French. No. That's Mallory's hometown or Mallory's home country. That's more French.
Yes,
Lord,
I had a once long ago.
that's- as he clutches at his heart, he goes, "Oh, my heart, it beats for you. Please give me the chance, and I will help it heal." Though your love may be
The book.
lost, I can show you. I can fill the void within your soul.
Oh, but how can I focus on love when the only thing I seek for is a warm, comfortable bed to sleep in tonight?
Oh, are you sure
I
you want to
would
do this?
Oh, can you
I
repeat that?
Is
I've
Mallory?
been searching for his bed sleeping. I mean,
Mm,
a bed, just a bed.
Excuse-moi.
I don't need a person in there.
I don't need a person in there.
mm.
Just a fucking bed, bro.
I-
I'm tired.
If you say that, he may not get that impression.
Yeah, no, most people would not get that impression, Lynn. You are actively fucking this man right now.
What
No,
he's saying,
You are-
he's offering love, and in return you're offering sex.
Basically,
No.
yes.
Do
Oh.
that.
The implication is, I'm not looking for to replace the love I've lost just yet. I'm just looking to fill the hole.
Literally and
I was gonna say I'm
figuratively.
looking to fill that hole in my life with pleasures of the flesh, but then I just figured no, it's much more concise to just say fill the hole.
It's a double meaning.
Yes. It's a
Every
double entendre.
every time he says something sussy, you hear distant vine boom.
Boom. Yes. My name is Malady. Yo. Boom. Anyway. So yes. No, if you say
I'm friends
this,
with Karia
you're-
Orthos, bro.
Boom. Yeah.
Boom.
Boom. Yes. Fucking. No, we're not going down that route. I'm just saying, if you say this to him, the implication is I want to share a bed with you, unless you say specifically otherwise.
I will say specifically otherwise.
Okay.
I think you should have just gone with the quest. It would have been a funny little.
Yeah, absolutely. It would have been really cool for me to just cut to the next morning and to have Mallory in bed with this dude.
No, not like that.
Just
Not like
suddenly
that.
wakes up, eyes bloodshot,
I
like
mean,
what the hell happened?
Wakes up.
Conversation.
Yeah, wake up. They're both naked. He wakes up next to Mallory, and just says, "I never knew you had that little surprise, but I won't complain."
No, the thing is,
It's okay. I
this
don't
little-
judge. We all
This
love to. We all share our love in different ways here in Lorbus. It's a free country.
Oh,
Mm,
my.
yes, very nice.
All I'm gonna say is that
Ooh la la.
when he gets back to their quarters, if this was to go forward, there would be another surprise waiting in the form of under Mallory's pants.
No,
that
that's
he
the
would
surprise I'm
most
referring
likely-
to.
That's what he's
Yeah,
referring to.
but then he has two horns,
Mm.
and all I'm saying is
Man.
I push this narrative.
Anyway, so yes,
Oh, no.
you are currently trying to didn't mean to do that. You are currently trying to twist, basically manipulate the man into giving you free room for the night. When you mention this, the immediate implication, sure name vampire god, the immediate implication is that you want to share a bed with him, but then you correct him and say, you spin a tale about how, having lost the love of your life, you're also left bereft of a home and a warm bed to stay in. His melodramatic face melts with sympathy. He says, "Oh, but for a young beauty such as you, this is unacceptable. No, the world is too harsh, too cold. No, I cannot let this injustice stand." He says, "Please, if you would follow me home, I will cook you a lavish meal and I will open my bed to you. All I ask,
So
But
you
one-
open your legs.
all I ask, keep your fantasies to yourself. All I ask is but one simple favor.
And what is your favor?
Be my muse.
Be one of my French girls.
More or less.
Well, I suppose that is very. I can do that.
Excellent. His despite the setting sun, his face glows like the dawning light as he stands to full height and says, "This is a most joyous day. Come, follow me, maiden, and I will show you to my home. It is but a humble studio, but I think it will be to your. I think it will be, at the very least, serve to give you some safe harbor before life continues to batter you from all sides." As he gestures for you to take his arm.
I thank
Yes.
you very much, good sir. And then,
Man,
and then he takes his arm.
Man, a woman or dude in this case, tricking a guy out of free food and a free bed to stay in. I think I've heard Tinder stories about this.
Would we catch this?
Oh no, you guys are still in the
Mallory-
palace. The conversation is like your
Okay,
meeting is
yeah, I was
current.
gonna-
So basically, while you guys are currently chatting with the king and having a randy old time, Mallory is currently duping some what do you call it? Some hyper romantic artist into giving him a free bed and a meal.
Mallory's borderline catfishing him.
No, she's absolutely catfishing him.
Oh.
Oh,
We're
right,
not
is
even gonna
he-
sleep in the same
yeah, that makes more sense.
Hey, I'm about to be the next Mona Lisa. Let's focus on that.
Mhm.
That's
Speaking of which, he brings you back to his home, and when he said it was a humble studio, he was absolutely right. Definitely looks to be about the cheapest place he could rent, because he leads you firmly away from the higher income center of the city and more towards closer to like by the walls, up into a studio flat. It's not super spacious, and it's mostly seems to be built of unvarnished wood. Half of it's like I said, it's a studio, so it's a single room. Got a bed over in one corner. The one half of the room is all a window, several easels, and lots of canvases, some which are drying up against the wall, some of which are hung up, others which are shredded or broken down. There's paint bottles and jars and other such containers all over the place, brushes of all sizes and points, some like hardened, some new, some still kind of wet from previous use, like laying on the easel itself. As he opens the door for you, gestures you to come inside, says, "Please do not mind the mess. I did not know I would be bringing such a catch home today." But as he gestures around, he shows you a single small bed with a modest mattress on it. Yeah, it's basically just an art studio with a bed in it. As he seems to be something of a painter. The garish outfit and the large floppy hat with a feather in it outside does not seem to have much income. But he says, "This is my humble home. I shall see about getting you something warm to eat. Please, it's not much, but relax as best you can," as he gestures over to the bed.
I appreciate it.
Oh my.
You are a kind man.
You know, it's so long it's like 4 walls and a roof. I think Mallory can survive in it. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
It's so long as it's not open air.
because I remember Mallory was very unhappy with the state of his lodgings when he was up in the frozen north. But then again, that's probably probably would make anybody less than happy.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
he cleaned it up a little bit. He was the one like started cleaning up the place. You know,
So yes.
so long as a place with like 4 walls and a roof, and he can control the contents in it.
Most important is the control aspect.
Yeah, the control aspect is what's most important.
If you
That's why I
were,
built igloos.
if Mallory was a Arcana, he would be the Emperor, because he's all about control. So
Well, yes.
The bed itself is a fairly thin mattress with no springs or anything underneath. It's just a wooden frame with a thin mattress. But it's still some cushioning and somewhere to sit for the time being. The what do you call it? The artist disappears for a little bit behind what looks to be a divider of some sort. You hear something whisking, and then he comes out with a platter on which looks to be almost like raw dough just splatted out onto a wooden board. To which he then raises it up, gives almost a flourish and a twirl, as he then takes the dough and then throws it onto the platter hard. And then it seems to collapse for a moment before then rapidly rising and turning, expanding, darkening, and turning into a large loaf of steaming rye bread.
Oh wow. How did you do that?
Oh, well, this is one of the hallmarks and prides of the of Lorbus at the moment. They created a new recipe for bread where even paupers could afford to buy it. Those who cannot afford to light fires within apartments such as this for risk of hazards and setting the building alight need only mix the ingredients, give it a little bit of force and the energy from that, then cooks and bakes the bread almost like magic. They call it,
Wow.
some have taken to calling it trail bread, others to calling it simply instant bread. I do believe that the mage or the alchemist who came up with it had some long-winded title for it that included his own name, naturally. But most people don't take to don't bother to recite it. Instead, we call it Wonder Bread.
Has begun.
Because it is truly a wonder, and it feeds so many.
As an artist, Wonder Bread hits differently.
Yes, the Wonder Bread incident. Yes, I remember that. Have you ever been commissioned for Wonder Bread?
No. But a friend joked about it.
Wait, I don't understand in the context of art.
Oh, you don't know about the Wonder Bread incidents? Oh my. Basically, there's at one point there was just a guy who went around commissioning every artist he could find just to draw his favorite waifus with just a loaf of Wonder Bread, because apparently that was a king for him.
That's
And
funny.
buying Wonder Bread and just
Yeah.
in general. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it was weird. It was like, the worst part about it is that there really isn't a reason to be upset about it, but there's that uncanny feeling in the back of your mind of, this just doesn't seem right. There's something innately where you kind of feel like you should have a problem with somebody just going around commissioning every artist they find to specifically draw his favorite anime girls, buying loaves of Wonder Bread. You feel like there's something shameful about it, but you can't actively say it because if you say it, you sound silly, like girls buying bread. So that's part of it.
It's silly.
It's silly.
Why are we
It's bread
discussing
and it's
Sam's
money,
dark
so-
past?
But yes, it's Did you commission Wonder Bread?
No.
But yes, yes.
The dark side of the bread.
He likes
But yes,
bread
Wonder
whenever he likes bread whenever exactly. Yes, it's to admire. Yes, it's
Listen, if anyone
the
wants to
main.
commission me for Wonder Bread pinups, I am offering them.
I think the main thing that wigged people out was the fact that there was that certain feeling of, there's something wrong here, but I can't quite put my finger on it. It kind of
Yeah.
put people on edge.
Yeah.
It's like there has to be something creepy about why he's commissioning these pieces of art. There's something like he's imagining that's going on entirely only within his own head, and that's why you can't necessarily raise any umbrage with it, because he keeps it entirely within his own head.
Yeah, I sent one of them in tavern.
Oh boy, now we have Wonder Bread in the server.
Yes.
It has begun. It has begun.
Yeah,
Oh,
look at
great.
that look she has for when she sees the for sale sign, and just a shopping cart full of Wonder Bread.
You're specific about Wonder Bread.
Giving new meaning to the phrase "Let's get this bread."
Mm-hmm.
I see what you mean.
Yes, there's it's not just like a loaf; it's entire shopping carts full.
And now that entire shelves.
Yep. Anyway, fucking GIF. It's weird. Stupid Bleach.
It's Wonderwise.
It's Wonderways. Yes. So anyway, Wonder Bread
I
aside,
immediately like
now
that
we
guy.
the artist in this case, he breaks the loaf in half. He takes out what looks to be some slices of cured meat and cheese, and brings it over on a platter to set beside you.
Oh, charcuterie board.
Kind of.
A charcuterie board.
No.
Sorry.
I will
No
short
coochie.
shortcut
No,
you.
none
You
of
take
it.
you take 100 psychic damage.
I will shortcut all of you. As he puts it by the bedside where you're sitting, and yes, I never introduced myself. My name is Frederico. It is a pleasure to meet you. What is your name, if I might be so graced?
My name is Malady.
Melody. Perhaps prophetic, perhaps otherwise. Perhaps perhaps your parents that named you foresaw the slings and arrows that fortune would levy upon you. I'm very sorry.
Perhaps.
It is a
He's
beautiful
quite
name, though, in a strange way. As he then draws the easel over as you're eating, takes a seat and begins to paint. And so that's what Mallory spends most of his evening doing. Just kind of sitting there, as he doesn't demand that he like strikes any sort of poses or anything, just kind of asks that he go about his evening. And yeah, just Mallory gets painted like one of his French girls. Gets a bed to stay in for the night, some food to eat, and when everybody comes out of the palace, it is firmly starting to progress into nighttime. The sun has gone down. There's a chill in the air. Clouds slightly obscuring the graying sky. And or sorry, the darkening sky. So graying, but yes. And as you know, you do have a hotel with your names on it.
Yes. Oh my, I wonder where Mallory is.
Oh,
In the distance,
hope
you
they're
just
doing all right.
feel a stare.
And I
As-
dubbed
as-
this painting
One of the-
Lady Getting Bread.
Yes. Painting of a lady holding Wonder Bread. Where is she getting Wonder Bread? Anyway, as the one of the canvases that he draws at one point just sees Melody staring off into the distance like an owl, eyes wide open, just glaring in what nobody would know would be Siren's vague direction.
Yes. But he actually does, after he's gotten his fill, like sit by the windowsill and look out. He has pretty great posture, so it does look like a picturesque lady sitting by a window. But he is just looking out for any people that stick out, obviously, you guys.
Frederico says nothing. He just simply follows your movement and continues to paint. Anytime you even make like any sort of significant movement, such as a change in posture or like moving over towards the window after you finished eating, he takes the canvas off the easel and swaps it for an entirely new one. Anytime you basically significantly change pose, he immediately starts a new painting.
Damn, I'm a muse.
How
muse.
romantic.
So yes, you spend the rest of your evening being painted. Finger paints are optional. As the rest of the party, I assume, starts making their way toward their lodgings for the night.
As we're moving through the streets, Flick has pulled back up his was it the Mask of the Stalker?
Yes,
Yeah, whichever
Mask-
it is, the one
yes.
that
The
one that
one
helps
that's
him disguise.
the one that's totally not made out of human skin.
Totally not.
Yeah, totally. No.
Why would you think that?
This one's made of Play-Doh.
Hmm. Yes.
he turns into a stop motion Play-Doh character.
Gumby.
I was thinking Clayface.
Hi, I'm Gumby.
yeah, he turns into Gumby.
Yes.
Actually, realizing that no, we're not even in the section that they would be in, the rich area, because we moved away from there. I'll just assume that Mallory like looks at the window, kind of sees Schultz, because usually Schultz will just circle around him.
Mhm. Yep.
Reaches out an arm and it just lands on him. And
Federico gasps at that, and immediately just you see the charcoal pencil come out, and he's feverishly tracing an outline.
Yep. And he spends the time, grooming Schultz. It does make for a good picture, and he's aware of it.
Yes. So yes, you guys get back to the hotel, ostensibly the second most expensive hotel in the city. Remember that whole conversation.
Oh, don't worry. Hollow Hollow's got more coming.
As you all return, he's and keys and names given as you all are bid to file into your rooms. There are currently 2 rooms booked.
All right.
So basically, 3 people per room, not counting by ear.
If I no, I'm not muted. Okay, yeah, I've been muting occasionally. I always have to make sure.
Says toy.
Yeah.
Because toys, lots of toys, and the fucking cactus. And of course it's copying me now.
And the cactus.
She broke it, and it hasn't been copying anything. And the moment I invoke its name, it starts copying every word that I say. Anyways,
As it should.
if I remember correctly, the day after we met with the king, our plan was to go to either the estate or the tower of Vark's, I don't want to say handler, but mentor. There we go. Thank you. That's the word.
Yeah, mentor.
Vark's mentor. I don't remember which one we were going to, though. If I remember correctly, it was going to her family home, her estate, because the tower was up close, like up north and out of the way.
Well,
but I don't remember.
as I remember, the family estate is out of the way. It's way down south in Naya. Whereas the tower is in Rosino, which is also where the headquarters of the, of the Society Quadratica is located.
Yeah, I remember we left it up to Vark, and I don't remember what decision we came to. Do you remember, Vark? He's dead.
Man, he's
You
dead.
killed him.
Damn it, he died. What happened?
No, most likely he's
The
muted.
assassins got to him.
The assassins
No.
got him.
Damn it, he was walking with us the whole time. How'd it happen?
No one passed the passive perception check.
Yeah,
No.
turns out when you blend into the darkness, it's easy for your friends to lose track of you.
we took a wrong turn down a dark alleyway. Vark got murdered, and we didn't notice because it was so fucking dark.
We just hear like the panic cries of Vark as he just gets stabbed or some bullshit. There's no
He
shit.
gets garroted.
He's dead.
Guru. Doo-doo-doo.
Go.
I assume he had to step away for a moment.
Yeah, it had to be something like that.
So yeah.
Well, I don't recall. I just remember it was going to be a day's trip
I
to
under-
go there.
Well, going down to the estate is most certainly not going to be a day's trip. Heading over to Rosino is the shorter trip, all things considered.
Mhm.
That's where the tower is, and that's where the society is. So that would allow you to hit 2 birds with 1 stone if you did that. I
Yes,
believe
exactly.
That was
Sorry
Okay,
about
you
that.
are
I'm back
here.
now. I'm back now. Sorry.
wonderful.
Did you catch any of that at all, Vark? Out of curiosity, or because I don't know at what point you left.
I unfortunately no, I didn't. I'm terribly
Okay,
sorry. I had
we
to
were,
go
we,
away.
we were trying to figure out which place we were going, because we left it to you, and I remember talking extensively about the estate and also the tower, and we were going to leave it to you to decide where we went the next day.
The tower makes the most sense.
That's
Right
what
now.
okay. See, I for some reason had it locked in my brain that it was the estate, so I'm glad that you were here.
Correct me, Quest?
No, that's correct.
The tower can roll, let you know? Yes.
Yes, towers in Rosino, as is the headquarters of the society.
Yeah, okay. I got it right down.
Wonderful.
Rosine.
So yes. General consensus seems to be that when you guys are finished here in Lorbany, you'll be heading to Rosino. And so the night passes as you spend your night in probably the best accommodations you've been in ever. The service is second to none. The building is richly appointed, and the food is of the highest. The food drink is the highest quality. The beds are springy and warm and fluffy, and the pillows are full of goose feathers. The interiors are brightly lit, except when the lamps are snuffed, which can be done with a flick of a switch. And the the interior is pleasantly warm, without any sort of overheating or undercooling.
It's cozy.
It's cozy. It is a cozy,
Quite so.
fancy inn to stay in, and the rest is good. The next morning dawns.
Oh, well, I
Mhm.
wanted to say something to Hala Hala before the
Okay.
next morning came.
Mm-hmm.
Siren just, if they end up sleeping in the same room or in different rooms, regardless, Siren goes over to Hala Hala and says, "So, this place is actually very comfortable. Thank you for booking such a nice place for us all to stay. However, it's not sustainable over a long period of time to book such expensive, extravagant places. So, after these 2 days, which you've stated we will stay here, perhaps we should all look for something more affordable. I know you have difficulty understanding money, so
No, I just don't care about it.
yes, let's make purchases together."
Whole blink. We'll blink a few times before we be like, I'll think about it.
What do you mean by that?
He means that he is going to spend his money how he wishes.
Yes, your money, not ours.
Well, he did not spend our money. Actually, out of character, he didn't spend our money.
Yeah.
Spent his
Wait,
money.
is Hala Hala...
He
is-
spent
Yeah, he
whole-
spent his own.
I'm assuming that we're all contributing to paying for this place.
No, he spent
No,
it entirely out of
Hala
his own
Hala
pocket.
No? Oh.
Yeah.
Out of his own pocket.
Uh-huh.
Oh, this whole time I thought that because it was a group stay that we all pitched in to pay
No,
for
he
these
he
nights.
just rented the rooms without consulting anybody.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's
Yeah,
what I had
no.
a problem with, is that I
Yeah,
thought
no,
that he didn't
he's-
consult us and spent
He
the group
has
money.
he has bad handling with money, but he doesn't steal our money.
Oh,
he
well,
just
never mind
he just has his stockpile of money, which he then wanted to use to rent out the most expensive place in the city. Failed to do so because nobody but the king tends to have that amount of money, and then settled for the second most expensive place in the city, which he then
Well, I had to
rented
understand that,
2
so-
rooms for 2 nights, for about, what was it again, 1,000 gold,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
out of his own pocket.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
now
I
that
would
I
I wouldn't take
understand
your
that-
guys' own money. What the fuck? No.
I thought that's what that was. Okay, never mind. Siren says nothing and just goes to sleep.
I have my talk with Karya.
You have your talk with Karya.
Oh yes, that's important actually
Yeah.
for everyone,
Not
just
Yeah,
not
Draco.
to
that's the,
info
prior-
dump about our team.
Yeah, Flick will probably be in there to probably reinforcing the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said in the palace, you can't be telling people that me and Vark have these swords, especially like you just saw with that one woman that Vark saw.
You didn't see her.
And not to
Well, actually, would
Oh,
Vark
true.
have told us about her or no?
Would Vark have told you guys about
No.
her?
probably not.
No.
Or yeah.
So
yeah,
you don't know. For all you know, nobody.
So,
you were
but-
lucky enough that nobody overheard you.
But Flick will say we can't have any prying ears. I don't know if there were any prying ears or prying eyes, but we can't have people hearing about these.
Karya. Do you want to say something? I heard you on mute or something.
I know. I unmuted just because I had my mic got super tangled and I had to unplug it and I couldn't hear you guys for most of it. And then I came
Oh.
back into. I came back in because I couldn't hear you guys because I literally just got this mic. My laptop
Oh.
shorted out my new mic, so
Yeesh.
Oh, ooh.
yeah. Looking to get a PC soon when I eventually have money in 5 to 10
Yeah,
years.
when the
Um,
USB ports are actively shorting out your technology, I would suggest that.
Yeah, I just don't know. So I did catch the tail end there of Karya. Please don't talk about these things. That is not safe. But that's all I was able to catch because I had to fix my mic to hear you guys again.
That is fair.
Mhm.
That's pretty much the extent of what
Okay, so thankfully I get
Flick
the gist
said.
of it. Yeah.
yeah.
I also
What
don't
I
think.
was gonna say. Oh.
Oh, hold on, I was just gonna chime in. After Flick said that, Holo was gonna say, Holo was gonna say, yeah, I wasn't like an overzealous religious type to come breaking down my door because I worship something different.
And
Well,
Kari, go.
Is that not your mother? Would you not want to venerate your mother and be open about your worship, or are you ashamed of your worship?
Don't look too deep into it.
Karia, let me put it like this, alright? People here in our group have past or current things about them that shouldn't be known to the public. For various reasons, for which I will not delve into or pry because that is not my job. If these things are known or let out, they could put targets on our backs. Be it something as simple as someone running away from their past, someone having weapons that are very rare to have, or even being related to dangerous people. We are not like you. We do not want challenges. We do not want hassles. We just want to be.
I think,
You
brother.
saying these things.
I think, brother. The point is that it's not a matter of pride.
I see. Is it a matter of secrecy?
It's a matter of survival, from what we can hear from them. For them, it's a matter of having, you and I both know well enough the greed of dragons, let alone the greed of humans and others. If someone hears that they have a valuable sword that's part of a collection, and they think they're strong enough to take it off their hands and kill them for it, well, maybe they just don't think they're ready for the challenge yet.
Perhaps that is fair. I see. Yes, it is not like this in our culture. I apologize.
And I'm not I'm not blind enough to the point where I can't understand that. However, please, if you want to info dump, if you want to talk about things and people's past, please only talk about yourselves and not others.
I think that's reasonable, speaking only for oneself.
I suppose that is fair. Yes, I believe I can do that. It's it's not my place, but if it is not a matter of pride, I see no reason to get upset. Yes, understandable. A matter of discretion.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'll fish around my good old harvest sack and pull out the cookies.
Wonderful.
You get to have 3.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
You get to
Excellent.
have 3 dread cookies.
You want to have some cookies?
Yes.
Cookie time! Yes! Excellent.
Time.
Let me
Are we
get-
having cookies?
Let me get my dice.
I'm having cookies.
Everyone can have up to 3
I might
before I put the cookie jar away.
I might have a cookie.
Okay, cool. Who's having a cookie and how
See.
many?
Well,
So
I
he's not
was.
having any more cookies ever again.
Yeah, I know that half the people are checking out. I know damn well that Karia has been waiting to taste the sweet deliciousness that is a cookie after many moons since they have been taken. So I'm eating as many as I can.
3.
Excuse me, how did you just describe
Okay.
that cookie?
Sweet deliciousness. So yes, as many as you can is basically just reaching in, grabbing a handful, and cramming them into your mouth. Are you sure you want to do that?
Well, I remember what
I
happened last
slap-
time, actually.
I pull out 3 cookies for him specifically.
3 only is how much your nanny is saying you can have.
Yeah, fine. I only get 3 cookies. I
tear goes
You
on
get them
Karia's
as a
face.
treat.
I will savor them for this instance. One of these days, the sweetness will wear off, and they won't be as impressive to Karia anymore. But today is not that day. I will eat them one at a time. Wait a minute. Do we ever discover if eating multiples increased the threats and or the
I
misfortune.
don't think you ever ate multiple cookies at once. You just had
I'm
like.
eating 3 at once.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
Tyrion, stop this man. Joke.
Anyone
This
else want
man-
a cookie?
Karia,
this-
perhaps.
Anyone?
And
This-
then
this
just
man's
like the
about
big
to-
hand goes in the bag, comes out with 3 cookies.
baby.
You see Karya glances, like he looks down into his palm of his hand. You see his eyes glaze over for a second. And for a moment, you get an awful premonition of something to come. You speak up, and then it goes
Anyone
big
else
gone.
want any
He's
more
about to
cookies?
get a verbal onslaught.
No.
So,
Chewing-
Borb, I'm not sure if
chewing.
you were there for it, but this bag of cookies is special.
These
is-
are misfortune cookies.
As far as the party is aware, they are misfortune cookies. When they were back in Mordon, whenever they ate one of these cookies, it seemed to whisper some sort of terrible thing into their mind. Karya has now eaten 3 at once.
I'm very excited.
I will also begrudgingly take 1 as a reminder, so I to not take these things.
To not let Karya have them.
Who else? Who else wants to have a cookie? I'll resolve them in order, but who wants to have a cookie?
No, thank you.
I'm not surprised. Anybody else?
1 for me,
for Jaika.
unfortunately.
I believe I heard Flick say he was taking one as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'll be starting off with one.
I remember
Ah,
he
yes.
took a
Duh,
bite and
duh.
then put his
Man,
foot
these
up.
edibles
It
ain't
went,
shit.
"Oh."
Ah!
These edibles ain't
Yeah,
shit.
Flick,
Whoa.
These edibles
Flick,
ain't
Flick,
shit.
Flick is hoping to himself that the threat this time is a little bit more soft, I guess,
Mhm.
but
I remember
he can't
These
be
edibles
sure.
ain't
What about
shit.
Hollow
Your
Hollow and
sister will
Bark?
kill you.
What about Hollow Hollow and Bark? Would you like to partake of the cookiness?
Holo Holo will just look at Vark and think, well, are you gonna have one?
Mark is dead again.
Who killed him? Who did it?
Vark has been abducted by
Shot Vark.
aliens.
He
They
has
killed him.
devarked. Disembarked.
No. Holo Holo. Oh my
He's
God damn it.
disembarked.
God damn it. Okay, never mind. Anyways,
He's
Holo Holo.
on a vacation.
He's yeah.
Oh god.
Can I roll kill you anyway?
Bet.
Fight me.
You try. But yes, is Hollow Hollow partaking of the crumbly sweet omen that is the bag of cookies?
Yeah, no, I won't partake this time. It was
Fair
very
enough.
mean to
Also, Borb, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. I'm very sorry about the overzealous ads that Twitch has been slapping in people's faces recently. I have no control over it. I'm very sorry. Okay. Hopefully Borb heard that. The Prime sub. Yes. Fitting. It's Borb Prime. Ooh. Right. I have dice to roll.
You
Nice.
sure do.
So 1 for Flick, 1 for Checo, 3 for Karya.
I'm assuming based on the dice roll, the fortune is different for every number.
Yes, it's rolled on a table.
Mhm.
Well, I'd be worried if you roll your dice on the floor.
Oh, yes, of course.
Uh,
I roll mine on a footstool. But no, it's the results are pulled from a table based on the roll. Yes, Bezos bucks are good for dodging ads. Okay. Flick.
Yes.
Take a bite. This time it's a macaroon. As you snap a piece off, you chew, and you pop the rest in your mouth. It's sweet, it's crumbly, it's good. And you hear in the voice of what sounds like a young woman? That sounds something to the effect of. I heard that the baker's wife was seeing a young man behind her husband's back. Something about developing a new recipe or something. Chaiko?
The Wonder Bread.
Yes, the Wonder Bread. No, that's already been developed. It's already been commissioned. Chaiko? I heard that somewhere beyond the borders of Rosino, there's people that's supposed to be going missing in the woods. It's in the bassy baritone voice of an older gentleman. A voice that sounds like it could just come out of a crowd, but you yourself don't recognize.
Huh.
And Karia.
Man, I hate these cookies.
I love these cookies. As Karia put it, why wouldn't you want to know the misfortune that may befall you? That way you can prepare for it.
Oh my god.
From three different directions, three different voices in your head. One says, I hear the price of fish is going down. Second one says, I hear the prince or the king has been paying, been paying, what do you call it? Paying much time and attention to a particularly new young lass who's found herself in the palace as of recently. And then the third one is, what do you call it? What is? I heard Daniel's new hog is about the size of a buffalo, and that's the third one. Anybody want to give me an estimation as to what these cookies actually do at this point?
No.
Do they just give?
Yeah,
I have a general idea, but I'd like Jake to go.
I want to guess that they give you rumors.
It's exactly that.
Rumors.
There's a system in place for asking around and getting things off of a rumor table in every city. The cookies allow you to psychically pull those from the general gestalt consciousness of the area around you. Every time you eat a cookie, you hear a rumor off of the table. And that's why the cookies were so fucking bad juju when you were in Mordaunt, because the general psychic wumbo mumbo in the area there is pretty negative.
Stressful.
Because there's so many dead and undead souls there.
That makes a lot of sense. Also,
that's why it was so doom and gloom.
Arya at this point will speak up and go, that's apparently the king is paying the price of his potential suitor is
in fish
giving
and
birth.
hogs.
It is giving birth to fish and hogs.
Yes, the price of eating multiple cookies is confusion.
I'm just gonna close the cookie bag and put them away. The cookie jar is put away. I hate it here.
Put away the cookie jar. Yes, so you have a bag of cookie rumors, or in this case, what do you call it? Just fortune cookies.
Rumor cookies.
Gossip wafers.
So,
What was the exact name for them again? Please continue.
So what did the cookies say to you all this time? Was it more bad fates and bad news?
That's what they're called. Yes, they were just called gossip cookies.
I was told that apparently Baker's wife is making some sort of secret recipe, and there's some sort of scandal going on with him.
That's a lot to take in.
I mean, no, it's not bad. I mean, I'm glad it's not threatening to kill me or something.
You didn't hear anything like that? Any bad news? Any this bad thing is going to happen to you? Nothing?
No,
So,
nothing.
I believe that the king has a female suitor who is in his court that he is paying for, and may be pregnant with his child.
well,
Oh
that's a
my.
very bold
This-
claim.
Is
He is paying
That
her in
what-
fish and pigs.
Yes, indeed, he's paying her in fish and pigs.
Mine was something about people going missing in a forest. I need
Well,
to
that
do some.
doesn't sound-
I need to see what forest is around here.
Now you see, that is actually important news. I told you that these cookies are very important, Chico. You need to believe me on these things.
These cookies are
I
much more
go
different than what I was
and-
expecting, actually.
And yeah, no, these cookies are fucked. I don't like these.
I will take
Me.
them back anytime.
No, not yet.
Cookie jar is
I don't know.
closed.
You have yet-
Seems these
You have
cookies seem
yet
to
to
be
earn the
fine
jar
with me.
back.
Oh, Chico, if you don't like them, I can hold on to them for now.
No, you'll give them to Courier.
Do you really believe that? I look at
Yes.
in the eye. My, you don't understand me at all then.
Ooh.
Whoa.
I understand. I know I'm a bit playful at times, but when it comes to actually harming oneself in the way that I was harmed when we shared the same cookie, I'm not reckless.
This is not a harm. This is. I see no reason as to why you all are so worried about these. Even when it was whispering our own potential dooms, do you not at least enjoy the comfort of knowing that the doom that is to befall you, you could potentially prepare for?
If doom
That
is
is
to befall
true.
you
I
won't be able to avoid
About
it.
something. I will
Well,
keep
I mean,
the house updated.
I mean,
out
listen,
of
I'm doing-
character real quick.
Out of character, what would you like to know?
Not know to say.
What's
Those
that?
first batches of cookies, they were eerily specific to us.
Yes. Specifically, because you were in a place that was incredibly negatively charged and haunted with all kinds of spirits. May have had an impact on that, because it pulls from the local consciousness. And the local consciousness of Mordaunt is rather morbid and filled with very spiteful people.
Yes. How would they have information about us? If
They don't have
information.
information. I should say, the cookies are semi-autonomous in their function. Just because they pull from the local consciousness does not mean that they might not pull from your consciousness, because you're still part of that local consciousness.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that
okay.
the info is one part future, like one part portent, and one part pulling from your insecurities.
That sounds about right. All the more reasons to not let these cookies out of my sight, so they don't give someone potential too many ideas.
All
For
I'm
lack of-
saying,
Just so you understand, Chico, as a healer, I made a promise to not harm those that I heal.
Cole holocausts a little bit.
Wait, are we?
Listen, I didn't have
The-
control over myself.
Hold
I
on,
was
you're feeling a
just
slight,
about
you're
to ask
feeling a
if we were going to count
slightly,
that one incident.
slightly warm around the neck.
I was just about to ask if we were going to count that one incident in the north.
Well, I didn't have control. I'm sorry.
Well, precisely. That's why we're not going to count that.
which is why you should have these cookies, because it does not harm me to have them.
No. End of
Just
story.
give him a bloody cookie already.
I gave him
Give me
3!
the bag. Give me the
Very
bag.
least-
No, I'm kidding.
No.
Give me the bag.
Chico?
At the very least, we understand them a bit more now.
Chico,
Well, regardless, we have more time
Yes,
to
DM.
Oh,
there is currently a dragon sitting in front of you, gazing up at you with wide eyes.
Puppy dog eyes.
Is it Vair?
Big dog
Yes.
eyes.
yes, it's
Why-
my ear.
Oh!
Big,
Anyways.
doleful, glistening eyes.
I wonder what.
Aiko's gonna let out a sigh, put her hands to her
Oh, damn it.
face. Look at Vair. Vayer, I know you understand me. I'm sorry, but I
His
cannot...
beak opens slightly. His long serpentine tongue flops out.
Another sigh.
His tail starts
Just
beating
give-
against the floorboards.
Just please.
Another sigh.
His eyes get just ever so slightly wider.
He's probably
He
about
says
to
that he's
receive a
not a
hell of a
cat.
rumor.
No. Someone here has to say no. I'm gonna say no.
I say yes.
Everybody,
I
why
stop-
do you have a thing against dragons?
I
Damn.
put the cookies into my haversack and call it there.
Well, that's just rude.
Meyer slowly turns to Karia and says, "It was worth a try."
What'd you say? The baby cut you out?
He just turns to slowly to Karia, and as if in the draconic, there's actually draconic equivalents to some body language. Like for instance, a slight flutter of the wings tends to be analogous to like a shrug of the shoulders. To which he does that and says, "It was worth a try." As he then gets back up on all fours and trots away, curling up next to the bed.
Well, it almost worked.
I
A
won't be-
little
I
bit more
won't-
push next time, she'll crumble.
I still have
Like the
some
cookies.
pride. I'll wait until she softens up at some point, like one of those delicious soft snickerdoodles. Hopefully she doesn't go stale with all the stress she's going through.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
of course.
okay.
Did you just make a pun? How could you?
Yes, yes, he did.
I ain't gonna sugarcoat it.
Okay, okay, okay.
Die anyway.
That got a snicker out of me, I'm not gonna lie.
Eh,
Okay, okay, okay.
just gotta sprinkle the puns sometimes.
Even Addie said okay, okay.
Okay, okay. She heard me. You tell him, Addie.
Don't.
She's a tough cookie. Anyway,
So I would like to put in my resignation. My 2 weeks
For-
notice.
Fresh out
there is no
of the oven, eh?
there is no at-will employment here. You signed your soul over on day one.
That's true.
I roll to die.
I can
I sold Quasol twice.
Huh?
There are two.
Huh?
There are two words that Flick goes by.
Wait, has a
Chips
soul?
ahoy.
I have a soul, huh? Where did I get that? Shit.
Not anymore.
safely here in my phylactery. Anyway,
You have a phylactery? What the fuck?
The villain arc has commenced.
you say that like it wasn't already underway years ago. Yes. Anyway, so yes, you see, I run games for people so I can slowly indoctrinate them and then rip their souls out and use them to fuel my phylactery. That's how I do things.
Amen.
Fun fact about phylacteries is they need constant upkeep. People are talking about. I remember Grim at one point brought up the possibility of like, oh, what if you had like 7 grains of sand on 7 different beaches? Like, wouldn't work because you also can't just lock a phylactery into an impossible place because if you die and you remanifest, you need to be able to get back out. But also, a phylactery must be maintained and refueled with souls at regular intervals with very complicated ceremonies. So. Yeah, that's part of the reason why Acererak has the Tomb of Annihilation. That's why he does that whole thing where he's just sucking in huge amounts of souls to fuel his phylactery and fuel up so much that it basically can run forever. And it's also why it's put into an almost impossible to infiltrate dungeon. So yes, phylacteries are fun business. A demiplane or mass. Demiplanes are a great way of doing it. I had an idea for a double blind demiplane, basically teleporting to a demiplane, hitting yourself with non-detection, and then teleporting to the real demiplane where a fake phylactery is kept and a real phylactery is disguised somewhere within it. Very convoluted. Also involves a lot of glyphs of wardings and symbols of pain and death.
Your first is actually just a teleportation circle, and it leads you into a dark closet, which then opens up into the demiplane.
Hmm. But yes, so a note to everybody here: don't agitate any of the liches I make.
Okay.
Though
I think
thankfully I've
figured
not
out
given you any reason to or any impetus to. Harry is a nice guy. I made him that way on
Yeah.
purpose.
I love Harry. He's a homie.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
that's
it. Harry's a good guy.
For now.
He can. Yeah, he can stay.
And Grim, for the Masterwork song, I think the great thing about about a song potentially being a phylactery, if you could do that, because typically it has to be a maintained object, but that can always be like an epic level thing. Any person who dies while singing it, their soul goes to fuel it, which I think would be an amazing way of propagating it, because it requires soul power. It's the one of the main things.
Yes, a bard lich.
Yeah. He had one show up in a campaign he ran once.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he had a guy who.
shit.
What was his name again? He was based off of a real life country singer, I think. God, what was it Billy?
Billy
Actually,
Ray
no,
Cyrus.
no, was it Billy Joel?
Are we gonna gloss over the fact that a bard lich would literally be called a bitch?
Yeah,
The perfect time.
yeah. It was based off of Mick Jagger. It was Jick Magger or something like that.
Macker.
Or no, not Mickey Rourke. It was something. You switch around the first letters in the name. And it was based off.
Rourke.
It was based off of a pop singer. No, not pop singer, but like a bit like a well-known artist. And he's like straight up just like, yeah, an aura that made people around him drunk and drugged up. Basically, he was like, pretty much just exuded a rock star aura. Yeah, that was him. We ran across him at one point in a game of Dungeons the Dragoning. He was running for us. It was the first game I ever played on that server, and it was the first time I ever had played a game that Grim ran. That's how I got to know him. And it was an amazing game, and that was one of many great NPCs he introduced us to.
Very cool.
But yes, his method of keeping his phylactery for more or less going was to have a song that, so long as people were singing and remembering it, meant he could never truly die.
Huh.
Pretty smart.
And yes, I remember Quirhana. She was a treasure. Started off as a Megamine reference, became so much more. Yes, every time the Bard Lich dies, he respawns in a dark corner of a tavern somewhere. Where the song is playing. Yes, anyway, game.
Yes.
Morning has come. Discussions have been had. Cookies have been eaten. And breakfast is now served as it has been delivered to your rooms. Warm, expertly made food, freshly baked bread, fresh fruit from the vine, all there and delicately served for each of you to enjoy.
Delicious.
Yum.
The
nice thing about
the
these
realization.
in-rooms is there's no mess hall downstairs you go to. There is straight up a dining table in each of your rooms that is the food is set out onto. Yes, you were saying, Frank?
Yeah. No, I came to a realization, and that realization is that if we're heading out to the tower, we're probably just going to head straight to the Quadranon afterwards.
You are in the
Meaning,
Quadranon.
I mean, another Quadranon, the Society Quadratica, there we go.
Mhm.
And there would be almost no way for me to get back. So, while I eat breakfast quickly, I'm going to the Court of the King before we fucking leave.
Well, no, it's like if you go to Rosino and you hit up the tower and then the Society, you then also have to come back through Lorbus to get back to Naya, unless you want to like shoot straight towards it, which might not necessarily even be possible. There's a good chance you'll probably still have to pass back through. You can go if you want, but it's not necessarily the last time you're going to be passing through here.
That is true.
Not all roads go in a straight line.
Yeah, it's fair. I forgot that we actually have to go to the estate anyways, and we'd have to pass back through. So when we do that, I'll just go to the council that day.
Yeah. So basically, the as you know it, the roads leading to Rosino also come back through Lorbany, through the capital. That would then bring you back down south through Naya. So yes. Right, yeah. Okay. You guys still have one more night here booked in the inn. Is there anything you would like to do in the city while you're here? Also, Melody, you awaken to the light coming in through the window, delicately playing across your face, waking you up. As you shift a little bit in the slightly uncomfortable bed, and you see one very sleep-deprived looking Federico still fervently painting at a canvas as he is set up next to the bed you're sleeping in.
This man's just been painting you all night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's been inspired.
Malady will, with a small yawn, cover his mouth as he did so. Give him a good morning.
He's so zoned into the canvas, he doesn't even seem to notice you getting up.
Well, he's still gonna get up.
Mm-hmm.
Tidy the bed a bit, just to make it so that he just didn't sleep in it. And continue his way to pretty much make a breakfast.
Mm-hmm. As you pass him by, as you go to where the divider was, where the food ostensibly is kept, you catch a glimpse of the canvas that he's working on. And it's not amateurist, but definitely still needs some work. It's a little rough around the edges. The paint is a little bit sloppy at some points. But you see where between watercolors and hastily scribbled charcoal lines is you, curled up on the bed with what looks to almost be a fitful look on your face. Your horn looking a little chipped and marred in some places. Seems to have picked up on small details like that. As a small sunbeam comes in through a window with no detail of wall around it, suddenly a window is almost cut from the air above you with a sunbeam coming through it, and you recognize to be Schultz, perched atop the windowsill, gazing down on your sleeping form. He seems to have caught some of the more subtle flaws and details in your appearance, as he exhaustively goes about trying to commit everything he remembers to canvas.
Well then, this guy is 100% going to become a famous artist in the future.
Yeah, probably after he dies.
Yeah,
Probably
probably
starvation.
after he dies.
Starving artist.
Mm-hmm. As you head towards where food is kept, the pantry, more or less. It's behind the divider. Yes, there looks to be some boxes, some crates, and some barrels and pots and other things where food is kept. You realize that you don't actually know what goes into Wonder Bread. And besides that, the most of what you can see is a strange, almost slate box that's cold to the touch, where when you slide the top open, you see cured meats and fresh fruit. Also cheese. Cheese is important.
Nice cheese.
Cheese. Slaps it on the table. Cheese. But yes,
Cheese?
Like that meme.
like, what do you call it? Like the guy from Top Gear. Yes, cheese.
Yes.
David, James May.
Cheese.
James May. That was the thing.
I'm thinking of Sheogorath right now.
Jeez. Yes.
That was actually really good.
I do like James May. He's got that sort of strange hyperfixation on the subjects that he loves that I can really associate with. When it's small topics like the matter of toy trains or toys in general. The man is a massive nerd. He's also a consummate engineer. And anything in life that he comes up against, he always tries to break down in the mindset of an engineer, which gets him no end of ridicule from his friends. But yes. Jeez. And other foods for breakfast.
Well, he's gonna get himself a nice bowl of fruit.
Okay.
And prepare also a little something for the artist. It's a nice thing to do.
Of course. What's his name? Richard Keeves. It was based off of Keith Richards.
Hey, who's Richard Keats?
That Lich, the Bard Lich I was telling you about.
The bitch.
Oh, the bitch.
Yes, Keith Richards was the artist he was based off of.
So his name was Reef Kitchards?
Yes, Reef Kitchards. Sorry, no,
Amazing.
it's Richard Keeves, which is was his
Richard Keeves. There we go.
Richard Keeves. With an aura of intoxication, and his phylactery was his song. Amazing. But yes, like I said, Grimm has great NPCs. What was it? Right. The artist continues, and he seems to be putting the last finishing touches on the still life portrait he made of you. As he finally takes the brush away from the canvas, puts down the palette, puts down the brush, and lets out a deep breath as you come up alongside him with breakfast. He startles, actually, when you see the bags under his eyes and the bloodshot sclera, and the way his hands tremor slightly, and they seem almost rigid, like they're locked in that sort of claw shape from holding the brush. He flexes them slightly, kind of massaging his wrist. And says, "Oh, you didn't need to, but thank you."
It is the least I could do.
He gratefully takes what you've put together for him. Starts to gingerly pick at it before eventually just kind of speeding up and more or less shoveling the food in his mouth, because he very clearly has been painting throughout the night. He was probably starving, and he says, "Well, I would say I need to get to work, but I have managed to fill more canvases over the course of an evening than I typically do within a week. So I might have to go to the market and try and sell at least a couple of these, but I'm heartbroken to part with them. Let alone he stretches and yawns very... I do believe I am 2 steps from collapsing. Very sorry, I was hoping to spend more time with you, but I am exhausted.
Oh, it's quite alright. I do believe that the first thing you should do after a long, long night, very long, from what this seems, a long night of hard work is a long day of rest.
I appreciate that. What do you intend to do for the day?
Perhaps I'll walk around town. Maybe find whatever it is I'm searching for.
He kind of pushes himself off the stools. I shall then come with you, as he like sways on his feet and goes, "Oh, perhaps not."
You rest.
That I shall.
I'm gonna break this man apart, bro.
You
If
have,
fate wills it, we'll see each other soon enough.
I could hope for nothing more. You have been a most inspiring muse. I see then sort of sitting on the stool, kind of leans back, head goes against the door, against the wall that's like literally next to the door. As he's leaning back against it, he closes his eyes for a moment as he's like midway through taking a slice of hard cheese and putting it in his mouth. He's chewing it, and then you notice he falls asleep mid-chew. Just that one moment where he just rested his eyes, he just kind of he falls asleep.
Yeah. Well, Mallory is going to first touch the guy's jaw, make sure he's finished chewing and swallowing, then pick him up, put him to bed, arrange the room a little bit, then write a letter, and then he's gonna like scratch his Zorn a bit. Like he's gonna move to the next room. He's gonna take a pen and paper, write something down, a letter of appreciation, just in the, as the persona of the nice young lady that he helped. And then he's going to notice, the outside, the season. It's springtime, and he still has his horn. Funny thing about deer and antler-like creatures that they shed their horns from autumn to winter. Then Mallory hasn't done that yet.
It is looking a bit worse for wear. Like it's
He's gonna
So Mallory is a deer.
he's gonna
No,
wriggle
Mallory's
it
a
a little
unicorn.
bit.
It does seem to wiggle a little bit, like it's a bit loose.
Well, then he's going to pull it out like a loose tooth.
As you then just sort of work it a little bit, like it's in a socket, and then pull, and then it feels like there's too much resistance at first, but from experience, it's just the initial like last little bits of whatever keeping it in there as you then comes
He's
off your
gonna
forehead,
tight.
leaving a little
first-
leaving a small little pink divot on your forehead.
Yeah, he's gonna hide that behind his obvious bangs. Of course he has bangs, Mallory. And tidy up the edge of this horn. Not the edge, the base of the horn, to make it so that there isn't any like blood or any more tissue on it. Maybe even cut the base a little bit to make it so that it's very neat and picturesque.
Yeah.
And then just lay it behind. Leave it behind and leave.
Okay, so you leave your little unicorn horn behind as a token of favor.
Yeah.
Usually people leave like handkerchiefs or like if you're being a little more romantic and scandalous, articles of clothing. Mallory left behind a horn.
Yeah. Here, let me leave behind a fingernail. But yes, see, here's the thing, though.
I have to ask,
You
is
ever-
it more like a fingernail, or is it more like a tooth, like a narwhal?
Depends. I would say that we would have to keep in mind the stories that crop up in some cultures of the animal wives. People have remembered those being things like the selkie or the crane in Japanese mythology, where they show up as humans, leave behind a piece of themselves or a piece of their garments, which they would normally use to redecorate themselves and reassume their animal personas. And sometimes leave behind a token of themselves, say a feather or something like that, to show the person, the man they spent time with, that they were real. For all you know, Mallory, you've just provided the inspiration for a brand new folktale.
Yeah, majestic like that. Yeah, of course.
Totally on purpose and not by accident.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, it's about time this thing left. Might as well just give it to this guy.
Yeah,
Might
for you,
fetch
it's discarding an old like an old tooth, like you would leave leave beneath your pillow for the tooth fairy. For him, he may tell the story of the unicorn muse that passed through his life in a single night, and because he treated it well, he treated her well with a warm meal and hospitality. He was struck by a supernatural inspiration that no normal woman could have provided him. Like a Leon Shi. Only, didn't fucking drive him to the point of self-destruction like Leon Shi do.
Yeah, I gave him food and put him in bed. I tucked him in bed. This is the most affection I've ever given anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's your theme to the last unicorn here.
The last unicorn.
I know, I love that movie. I was gonna go with the last unicorn angle, but I didn't want to say it.
Mm-hmm. Why? Because it would have given away what kind of person you are?
I love the last unicorn.
Yeah,
It's my
it's a
favorite
good
movie.
movie. It of all
Hell
the,
yeah.
what do you call it? God, what was the animation company called again?
I still can't get over the fact that Christopher Lee is in the English dub.
Yeah. It was a Rankin Bass film. That was it. Like, it's a textbook Rankin Bass movie. Amazing animation. So yes, you leave behind a letter and your old horn as you disappear. Now, without your horn, which is for you, it's just a matter of seasonal shedding of what is old and allowing the new to come in, as per spring is typical. Though not unaware of just how weirded out your companions might be seeing you without a horn. Now there's the question of, where are they?
Yeah, I'm gonna cast what's it called? I'm gonna cast Follow Aura and look for anything chaotic that's leading toward the rich area.
You're in a
Because
city.
I know most of you are freaking chaotic.
You're in a city.
What do you mean?
A very peaceful city.
Very peaceful city, but that doesn't necessarily mean everybody.
Thank you very much.
Not everybody is of lawful alignment within a peaceful city.
Okay, fine. I will.
You
go-
cast Follow Aura, and you realize, wow, there's a lot of chaotic people in this city.
Yes, yeah, I'm chaotic good.
Same.
I believe I'm lawful evil.
No, you're not.
Yes.
I actually have to check.
I don't think you are. I think you're like lawful neutral.
No
Or something like that. I forget. Regardless,
One of those. I'm not chaotic.
Mallory, the point being, there's a lot of people in the city, and the fact that at least a few of them are going to be chaotic is going to throw you off the trail.
He's gonna click his tongue and do it the old-fashioned way.
And yes, Karia is lawful neutral. It's the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, he's just gonna go to the places that they're most likely to be seen, aka the rich area. Then look around for any individuals that may stand out. Just just look for them
Well,
in general. But
I was
considering
gonna
it's
ask.
yeah.
Well, just to make it slightly easier, we are staying for another day because we have a room for 2 nights, aren't we? Or are we only staying for 1?
You still have another night booked, yes.
Okay, well, then if we have another day, Kari is probably leaving and heading to the castle to just shadow at that point if we're not leaving. So you'll probably spot me then, Mallory.
Oh.
I follow
Possibly.
Kuria.
Mallory, at one point you would notice that Schultz, who was previously just kind of coasting overhead, start to circle over an area ahead of you.
Ah, I'll follow that.
And after that, it's not too difficult to see Karia, Vair, and the rest of the group heading up the main road.
Actually, for this little stint, I'm gonna be Chai.
You're gonna be
We
cheap.
try. Gee, yeah.
And like everybody in the
yes.
group, I don't know. Do you continue to shadow Mallory, or do you actually join up with them?
I'm just gonna let's see. Well, I'm quickly going to, as I walk toward them. Is there any flower stalls? Are there any flower stalls?
Oh, absolutely. In Lorbus, of all places, there's flowers everywhere.
Well, he's going to buy a few.
Okay.
A few flower crowns, or flower wreaths, anything that can be put around the neck, the arms, the head. Just enough.
Absolutely. I would say that's like 5 silver.
Okay. And he'll fork that over.
Okay. You're given a handful of laurels and flower crowns and leis, basically, to basically just like ringed and draped over your arms.
Then he's going to wear his nicest smile, friendliest smile, and then pop up behind them
Still
and
looking like
speak in his normal tone.
still looking like
What
Malady.
are you guys in? Yeah, still looking like Malady. The beauty of being in public is that nobody really pays attention to you.
Mhm.
If they're doing their own things and if you look normal.
So when Malady approaches, then
Basically just coming up
Karia
from
will
behind the
look-
group.
Oh, I see. Just but talking in their normal tone.
Yeah. It's like,
Ah.
what are you all doing? It's not too
Oh.
different from was a disguised one.
Well, no, the disguise doesn't matter. Karia will look, and it'll just know your voice, and Adelaide. I'll let Chico do it because Addie wants to scream.
I'm also going to be
What am
right
I-
back.
What am I doing?
Well, Malady, female Mallory, now stands a horn and now covered in flower crowns and other such things, has come up from behind the group and in his entirely normal voice just went, "What are you guys doing?"
Yeah, what are your plans
I'll-
for today?
She turns around, mask and all, because I got new masks. Because thank you, Mordon. I love you.
You love
No.
me too.
Oh, such nice, warm hospitality. She'll
Warm like the grave.
she'll turn around and go, "Oh, hey, it's Mallard." I see Malady, and go, you can't see it, but I'm blinking multiple times.
Also to
I don't
notice,
believe
think
what I'm
Mallory
seeing.
actually told us that her new name was Malady.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I know. I don't know that her
character.
name, but
out of character.
out of character. I start at Malady.
Also,
I
something
just
to
stop.
something to notice is the complete absence of the long pointed horn that normally rests on his brow.
Yeah.
Oh,
He looks completely human right now.
yeah. Kara will turn and go, "Oh, I see. You seemingly have gotten a haircut. You and are wearing a dress. Well, that makes sense for you. You are very feminine." Nod. It is good to see you.
Uh-huh.
Note to self: Karia considers Mallory feminine, possibly attracted.
He's going to just act like he's a normal, what was the place called? Rosina?
Mhm.
No.
Loris.
Wait, it is? Loris. He's going to pretend to just be a normal welcome Loris citizen and just proceed to first bow down to Vair, give him a little pat on the head, and put a flower crown on while he continues talking. And he's just
He
gonna,
preens.
while he's talking, while he preens.
No, I'm saying my
he's
ear
just gonna-
preens. He's just like,
Oh,
very happy to
so-
have a brand new flower crown on his head.
yeah. So he's just pretending to welcome them, while the conversation is just him asking what today's plan is. He's completely going to ignore any questions that revolve around his current appearance.
Mallory, or Malady, goes from person to person, decorating them with loops of bright, colorful flowers, while pressing you all for what your plans are for today.
I take my flowers off and give them back.
He's not gonna push you to take them, and he's just gonna wear them.
Well, I don't actually know what our plans are.
From what I know, Karya is going to shadow the king for a little bit, and I'm here to
Oh,
make
yes.
sure he doesn't do anything dumb.
Make sure
As for
that
everyone else is doing, I'm not too sure. Looks at the rest of the gaggle. Why are you following us?
just in
I
I
case.
guess, okay, that okay. Sorry, that one should have been out of character. So why are you following us?
Oh, usually when you tail someone, you can sort of see who else is tailing them. And if as long as you're not the one being tailed. So if Mallory looks at them from a distance, he's able to see anyone who's consistently following in the group's general direction,
Okay,
while
so
avoiding being a target himself.
okay, so that's okay. I can see why Mallory's doing that. So what about names? Siren, Hollow, Vark, Flick. I think that's everyone else.
Yeah, I think that's everyone else.
Could be,
What are
yeah.
they doing?
Um,
Are we all? Is a group of adventurers just gonna go shadow the king today?
I don't think we need everyone to shadow the king. That's a bit much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody roll stealth. That's the first hurdle.
No. I'm just kind of waiting for us actually to get to the Society Quadratica so we can do like the whole research thing because I have stuff I want to do there. But aside from that, I guess I would ask if there's any other like library or other research facility in this city that people would go to look up strange magical phenomena and learn about it.
Okay, where would you ask about that? On the street?
I would go. No, I think I would go. Actually, you know what? I would go to the front desk of the inn that we stayed in, the fancy place.
Okay. Well, if you ask one of the secretaries, they'll consider it for a moment and say, well, if you're looking for some sort of archive of magical things, the obvious recommendation would be to seek one of the either one of the society outposts here within the country's borders, or to go visit one of the magical, one of the universities. There is in fact a magical college here within the limits of Lorbany. It itself is no slouch. Obviously, the magical universities in Rosino are considered to be, at least within the Quadranon, the superior and the most well-regarded of the magical colleges within the Quadranon. But if what you're seeking isn't too obscure, perhaps consulting with some of the collegiates at the magical college here within the city might be a good place to ask.
What I'm seeking to learn about is actually quite strange and a bit obscure despite being so simple. So what do you recommend to be the closest place within the city without having to leave the city? Where I could
the magical
possibly do
college would
research
probably
on?
the magical college of Lorbany might be your best bet then. Better to ask and find they have no answers than not, you know.
Indeed, I agree.
They would be your best bet. They are the foremost magical experts within the city limits.
I see. So, I guess that's where Siren would go.
Okay. She wants to go visit magic school. Anybody else have any plans they wish to cement for the day?
Actually, this is a pretty big city. Is there like a mini? Is there like a mini? Like I guess it would like equivalency to like a little China, a little Italy area. But it's like for like little Ridgeback or little like
No,
Quebec. Actually,
not enough people
right?
make their way out of Ridgebank to make that sort of settlement in most
Okay.
places. Like the migration outside of the colony is so rare. The fact that you found one in Mordon could be considered nigh on a miracle.
Damn. Okay.
It's just like the population of your people is small enough as it is. If you were to find a district here within the city limits, that might actually match the population of your island.
Dang.
So yeah, you're not a very populated people. You keep your what do you call it? It's not that you're not prosperous or that you don't proliferate. It's just that you don't leave your island very much.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I was just curious.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't say there would be any sort of what do you call it? Equivalent to that. There might be places you could go that would be collections of some of the more exotic cultures. You could ask around and see if maybe one or two of your people have made it here to Lorbus. But you won't know unless you actually go asking.
Oh no, it's okay. I'm just having to think about some stuff right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know I still have that one guy that I challenged to a duel back in the village.
A doodle.
A doodle. I was going to challenge him to a doodle off.
To be fair, you guys both have pens. But he
And
said
Art battle.
he said his home is in Rosina.
Ah, okay. Perfect.
While you're heading there, yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Challenge him to a doodle off. First one to draw blood wins. Just rip out a piece of paper.
Draw blood.
The objective is to draw a picture. The only ink you can use is if you manage to get a clean hit on your enemy. Then you have to draw with your sword, with your pen. And anytime you run out of ink, you have to hit them again. Yes. That would be interesting as far as like a unique form of duel between pen owners. Huh. I'll give that in mind at some point. Anyway, so Styron wants to talk to some magic people about magic stuff. Kitaria wants to wants to watch the king at work. What does the rest of the group want to get up to? I know that, Holo wants to potentially seek out others of his people, see if they've made their way here in the city.
I'm still thinking it might not be that. It might not be that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still thinking right now.
Flick is keeping an ear out, I guess, for potential threats as well as potential.
Yeah.
Dual
Flick will be doing kind of patrolling the area, looking inconspicuous.
Mm-hmm. Much as yes,
as much as I can.
To be fair, you've managed to find ways of being rather inconspicuous.
Right.
I sometimes I still think of it from the angle of as inconspicuous as a Catman can be, but this is also in a world where elves and orcs and dwarves and all kinds of strange people live and melt together, where such things aren't so strange.
Yeah. So a Catman really isn't out of the question.
No, there's actually like 3 flavors of cat people in the
precisely
in this world. So yeah, not too strange.
And then the fabled Neapolitan cat boy that we have to find.
It's all 3.
Great. You got it wrong. It's Neapolitan. And then we're
like Nia.
I would like to call down an airstrike on Holo's position.
Sorry, you need like a 15 kill streak first.
Damn it.
I guess lastly, Nyko?
Well, Chi is
Babysitting?
Chi is ghosting, not really ghosting, but being next following Karya. And the reason that she's Chi is the fact that mask included is because one dragon man is enough. Last thing they need is a fox in the mix.
Okay.
It's an attempt to draw eyes away from her, even though she's wearing a mask. But
Mhm.
you know, it's an attempt.
Totally not strange. Look at that perfectly normal woman.
Karya was gonna. My worry, I don't know if it was semantics, but Karya is literally going to be sitting up near the throne. I don't know if he'll be like, who the fuck is this? I don't know if that's a problem or not.
You don't know yet.
Well, we don't. Yeah, we don't know. I'm here. I'm following to make sure stuff like that doesn't happen.
You're here as his advisor, also babysitter.
Listen,
So yes,
This is my royal advice.
yes, Mallory. This is as you're draping them in flower crowns. This is the rundown that you get.
Could that be repeated again?
Karya is going to
very
go shadow the
concise
king. Chico is going to shadow him and make sure he doesn't do anything dumb. Siren wants to go talk to magic people. Holo is, as of yet, undecided. Flick is working security. And Bark, what are you doing?
Fine.
Yeah. Bark, are you still with us? He may be asleep.
Well,
To be fair, it is currently 11:30.
that's true.
That is true.
Bark.
Barky boy.
The shadows
Fuck,
got
you
to
come
him
back.
again.
And they swallowed
Fuck
him
a
up.
little on me.
Swallowed him up. And there's the ads again. Lovely. It's a good thing. Everybody's fucking subscribed. Thank you, Ari, as usual. Ever generous. So yes, that's the general objective. I'd say, considering the fact that I'm starting to feel the tiredness starting to hit me a little bit. And you guys have a general idea of the directions you want to go in. I'm going to call the session there for today.
Okay.
Next session
Sounds good.
will be the shadowing of the king and people splitting off and doing their own little thing throughout the town. And then I would assume moving on to Rosino for actually pursuing objectives.
Yes, indeed.
Objective, but Mark. Wow. Thanks. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out to watch and for my players, as always. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Thank you for hosting.
Thank you for running.
Yeah, it's good
If
to
you
be
ever-
back. We missed you.
Hell
I
yeah.
missed,
Now-
I missed being here. I missed running
Now
games. And I missed
tomorrow,
playing. Oh boy.
and now tomorrow we can pick up back in Genesis for the beginning of
The
the
end.
Save Alsar King mission.
Yes.
Beginning of the end. Oh, baby. So, yeah. Thank you very much, everybody. Take care. I'm gonna go pass out. You all have a wonderful night. Take care of yourselves.
You
It's
as
a wrap
well.
up.
Take it
Of course.
easy, my
Thank you
friend.
for having us.
Yeah,
Welcome back. Welcome back, Larry.
Bye.
He's back.
Just in
Yes,
time.
hello.
Yes.
Bark and he is a sleepy.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh no, I didn't know that actually.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Yes, indeed. Farewell.
Bye bye.